Hey, and welcome back to the Wicked Wild Podcast, a feral podcast for the uncivilized horror fans. And we are starting a new block, our last block before we get into spooky season. Very excited. We actually are doing a block by Jeff, the El Jefe block, as you will. And you may hear that Jeff isn't with us. He's had a lot of life stuff come up. It happens. It's 2024. Everybody has a lot of life stuff going on right now. But he did pick some bangers of movies, and we were going to salute him as we walk through these. And maybe at the end of each episode, we decide if Jeff's a good guy or an evil mastermind for the movies he picked us. But we're going to, before we get into all of that, let me introduce you to who is here to talk about the newest, hottest xenomorph game in town. We've got Eli up in Pittsburgh. How's it going, brother?
Sup.
So before anything happens, there's not a damn thing we have to talk about until we get one piece of information sussed out. And that is, did you get your face hugger popcorn bucket?
Listen, let me tell you this story. A tale of woe, Dave. I was gonna see this movie over the weekend. I called ahead because most of these popcorn buckets they release now are dumb as shit. But that one with the face hugger and the canister and it's got the light, I was like, that'd be dope on my shelf. Called ahead. Hey, we're out. We should have some more on Monday. I was like, great. I'll go see it Monday. Called ahead.
I threw them out of the trash can.
You son of a bitch. I called ahead on Monday. Guy goes, oh, no, man. Still don't have them anymore. Son of a bitch. Called Tuesday. Didn't have them. He's like, I'll tell you what. I said, he's like, you've called a couple times now. I said, I have. He goes,
yes, I have, sir.
I said, I have. He goes, I know we're getting some more tomorrow. He's like, I'll set one aside if you want to wait and come see it tomorrow, which is today, the day of the recording. So I was like, you like for sure you're getting one. He's like, yeah, man, we're getting a case of them. I was like, all right, awesome. I got up early this morning, went and got my hair cut. Went to the mall.
Popcorn bucket?
Yeah. I went and got my hair cut. I got there a little too early. The theater wasn't open yet. It's at the mall. So
Eli was excited.
I'll go to this food court, got myself some Charlie steak, eat some bacon cheese fries.
Wait, I don't know what time you got to the mall. The movie theater wasn't open yet.
I don't want to talk about it. And and so then I'm walking with a step, right? Walking with a step. Just a boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I get up to the theater. This theater's dumb because it makes you buy your ticket on a screen before you even go inside the theater.
You were committed at that point either way.
Yep. I clicked on it. I went early enough, Jamie, where I was the only one in the theater. I'll say that.
Wait, but you could buy tickets in advance, like on the internet. So how?
Because I assumed, listen, Jamie, I was like, I'm going early enough that it shouldn't even matter, and it didn't. I was the only one in the theater, and I walked I walked my happy ass right back in session.
Got it.
And I was like, hey, could I get a drink? I got my nerd cluster gummies.
Of course you did.
And I said, I would like one of those face hugger popcorn buckets, please. No popcorn, just the bucket. And the guy goes, and I recognize this son of a bitch's voice, who's on my list for the end of his days. He goes,
a nemesis.
He goes, oh man, he goes, someone just came in like 5 minutes ago and bought the whole case. And I went,
no way.
Yes. I said,
he lied to your face.
I said, I called. Someone was supposed to set me one aside. He goes, there's no notes. And I was not a happy boy. And I went,
keep that in mind as Eli gives his review of this movie. It may have nothing to do with the movie.
And I went,
popcorn bucket.
I think he could see, like, I thought the look on my face must have been one of pure hatred, disappointment. He goes, do you still want the snacks? I was like, yes, I do. Because they're nerd gummy clusters. Like,
don't look me in the eye.
Yeah, don't even talk to me. And then I walked up the ticket guy, and he was like, "Hey, good morning." I was like, "Sure." What fucking theater am I in?
What's good about it?
The weird thing about these popcorn buckets is like they've been around like forever, but this whole trend of them being like really like outrageous is brand new in a way. And I didn't realize now it's different theaters because my theater had the fucking xenomorph head, which also is not there. Yeah, and it does look really like the one I saw, the one that you're talking about. I had friends post it online. That looks a lot cooler than the xenomorph head, one giant penis, which we all know I'm all for it. But like what I'm saying is is not even designed well. Like it's just like this long boat of a thing.
There's no easy way to eat out of it.
Yeah. I have not
either.
at any point wanted one of these stupid fucking buckets.
So you saw this one, yeah.
Well, I even saw a picture of this one. I was like, eh. And then where I work, somebody came in with one of those some bitch that they're not carrying their magic cards in. And I looked at that and I said, is that a card case? He goes, no, man, that's a popcorn bucket. I went, oh, shit. I said, I got to get me one of those. And then when we were planning to watch this, that's when I started calling the theater the days I knew I was going to go. And then that's what they did to me. I don't know if you two caught ahead. I don't know if it was karma, fate. I don't know if it was the government because I've been blowing the lid off the alien thing on this podcast for a year. I don't know, but I'm going to find out. And I tell you now, you don't want the Mole King as an enemy. That's all I'm going to say.
We all know that.
Well, Eli, just, ironically, just good news. I just got a whole case of those things, and I'll sell you one for $50.
Oh, wait, where'd you get them at, Dave?
I can't remember. No, I don't think that's really important.
You're not in Pittsburgh this weekend, are you?
I have no recollection of those events. The important thing, dude, though, you're missing the point. Is I can hook you up.
Oh yeah, so you're really going to charge me an extra $25, even though you got a whole case?
Yeah, that's the print discount too. So you can't tell anybody about that.
Oh wow, I wouldn't say a word.
And then you've heard her lovely voice. We've got Jamie on here too. How's it going, Jamie?
Hey,
now that we've got past the drama, I knew that question was going to be gold either way.
If I had that bucket, I would have had it next to my head.
Right now,
in pitch blackness with just that green glow on my face.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And we've talked about this before. Jamie and I have very fond memories, and Eli, you've mentioned this too, of the hype of certain movies. You can it's infectious. You get excited about it. I know that Jamie, for those that don't know, Jamie just came off of the whole Olympics thing. She was working like double shifts every day, very little energy left at the end of it, while all of the marketing is building on this. But I am curious, did you try and go into this cold without consuming any of the marketing or any of the teaser stuff on YouTube and all that stuff? Or did you fully buy into all of it?
No, I don't think I watched. I watched maybe whenever they released the first teaser or trailer for this. And now I'm talking months, whenever it was, or whatever. I think I watched that, and we
knew we were going to watch it at that point.
Yeah, I did that, and I think we even maybe posted it in our Discord. I don't remember. It's no secret on this podcast that I love Fede Alvarez, so I've been waiting. That's part of it's a twofold movie for me, because besides my love for the xenomorphs, I don't want Fede Alvarez to disappoint me. I wanted him to be there for me, and that
show you something awesome.
Yeah. So, but then I stopped watching things. And especially, like you said, I was incredibly busy the 2.5 weeks leading into the release of this movie. This movie literally released, for anybody that doesn't know, like days after the Olympics end. So, so at that point, I wasn't watching anything because I'm seeing it in 4 days or whatever it was that, you know what I mean? I consumed nothing while I was working. I didn't talk to anybody. So the world could have very much have gone in a totally different direction. I would not have known. But, yeah, so I kind of then just started avoiding everything to do with it because I was just like there were a lot of these little teasers of even the special effects and the practical effect, and I just avoided all of it. I kind of didn't watch any of the Instagram reels or TikTok or any of those things, and I was just at this point, I made it this far. We're just gonna I hadn't seen.
You're gonna see it.
I didn't see anything with trailers. I was just we're just gonna go in at this point. I know I'm gonna see it for multiple reasons. We were doing it, and it's an alien movie, so and
it's Fede Alvarez.
Yeah, so it's I'm just gonna go in because enough of these either getting my hopes up or down or anything. We're just gonna I was already getting my own hopes up, just so.
Right. That's fair, and obviously, I just enjoy because for horror it doesn't happen too often, but I enjoy a summer blockbuster horror movie because when that happens and they hype it up and they do a bunch of marketing and there's events or there's these pop-up things that happen around the country.
Things in New York. Sorry, I just want to. I did see those weird things in New York. That was it. But
I just enjoy being part of that energy and stuff. So I did consume more than I usually do. But to your point, at the same time, this is a precious franchise that's struggled. Let's be honest, for a while now. But at the same time, I knew that Fede loved this franchise. I had read enough about how he got to this movie and the conversations he had with Scott about it, that he had a really strong vision of what he wanted to do. And I was excited about that. Like, even if whether I liked it or not, I was excited about a director that has a lot of talent being excited about something I care about. So, and we're going to talk about that movie soon. But before we do, and I'm sure aliens won't come at all in this section of the podcast, but we do want to give my buddy Eli a little opportunity to vent, to depressurize a couple of his own chambers in a little section we call the Wicked Whispers.
And it's not allowed to be about popcorn buckets. We
okay,
exercise those demons.
All right, I won't bring up popcorn buckets. But what I will bring up first is aliens. I was kind of telling you guys a little bit before we were recorded, but there may be another alien special episode, Campfire Tale, come soon, because all of a sudden the kind of the alien stuff is blown up again, even though it's already kind of blown up. First is between the military now, which has a reporting system for members to report. NASA has the civilian one, and then also just videos that have been shot. There has been like something like a 60% increase of reported UFO sightings in videos in the last like quarter of this year, like from beginning of summer to kind of now. Than like any time in the last like 5 years, which that doesn't seem concerning. Also, Congress is kind of sneakily, it was discovered, they're tired of asking a bunch of questions and getting no answers. So a bill is being drafted and submitted that will basically make it where NDAs don't apply to whistleblowers specifically in terms of UFOs, extraterrestrials, multidimension, all the things Greg said at the hearing, which that's odd.
That seems targeted.
That seems a little, especially in Congress, any bill that is super specific, that means something normally. Because typically they tack on about 300 of them some bitches to try to get them through. And now they're like, here's this one super specific one. Let's see how this turns out. So like that's going on, which is nuts. And then also, there's been some leaks from various other agents of other governments, including the U.S., who've all said that many countries have known about this stuff for years and actually have satellites around Earth that have been tracking these things, which, okay, sure. All right. That's great. So, apparently we're speeding up the alien thing. Not to be out because they want to bring about the apocalypse and not AI, which was also in the news this week, as they're finding that AI, they've accelerated all the rates. Before it was like in the next 10 years, next 5. Now it's 3 years and it'll be 500 times smarter than the smartest human. So that can't be bad. They also think AI may be further along in self-cognizance than what even we know.
It's already lying to us.
Because they're already finding things where it's like they're doing all these things, they're talking to each other. But you know what? That's not stopping them from a lot of them releasing version 2.0, which is supposed to be coming out this year for many of these companies, without a lot of testing. So that's great. Nothing to worry about there. And also, there's been multiple examples in the last month that there's so many deepfake videos created by AI that multiple politicians were caught referencing them, thinking they were real and not knowing they were fake. So that shouldn't cause us any troubles either.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, so that's all great. Nothing to worry about in the AI front. Let's see, the oceans are still doing their ocean thing. People are still seeing this shape on the radar that they think could be a megalodon. Well, I don't know. They can't see. They never figured. They still cannot figure out what those weird egg things were that they found washed up on islands. Probably nothing to worry about there. So that should be fine. And then finally, just when I didn't think I could be more afraid at night of all the things trying to kill us, they're seeing a dramatic increase in the bubonic plague. So
good.
So
so the past and the future is seeing who can kill us first.
We are. You know what? I was telling somebody about this the other day because it's to the point now where this is bleeding out in all aspects of my life. Which eventually, let's be honest, We all knew that would. And I'm explaining all this stuff, and someone said to me, dead in the eye, they said, have you ever seen that shitty X-Men movie, X-Men Days of Future Past? And I went, I have. They go, that's what it sounds like we're living in. All this shit in the past and all this shit in the future just kind of all going on together, and somehow we're in the middle of it. And I went, that is best case scenario. Best case scenario. So, yeah. So, once again, death, gloom, and despair again this week. So, if you're sitting there thinking, hey, I shouldn't eat this second bag of nerd gummy clusters tonight, you know what I say? Live a little, because if we're here next year, I'll be really surprised.
Well, there you have it. That's some solid advice. No matter what's really happening in the world, I think it's always solid advice. I got eyeballed by a stranger the other day. I was outside a bar smoking, and they said, that's going to kill you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What isn't going to kill me?
Yeah. I know the feeling, Dave, because as some of you know, I have a strange addiction to these nerd gummy clusters. And someone brought us ice cream, and I had some in my lunchbox, and I went, I bet you these would be good on ice cream. And they were.
Were they?
I bet too.
And someone says, that's going to kill you, eat like that. And I went, it's this, AI Overlord, or aliens.
500 other things. You know what? It might also be good on, hear me out, crazy thought, a ice cream sandwich cake with sprinkles of nerds.
Still haven't made it. Still haven't fucking
Listen,
it's sugar on top of sugar.
Oh my God.
Sugar on top of sugar.
Dang. So. You know what? Hold on. I'm getting a little, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hear me out.
A disturbance in the forest.
Instead of ice cream sandwiches, right? What if I did a layer of sherbet, vanilla wafers?
To bring the fruity in?
Yes.
Sherbet?
Wait,
well, I guess, yeah. Sorry,
listen,
I can't eat. Listen, It drives me up a wall at this point because nerds are one of my favorite candies, right? I just want to say that. I love anything that's pure sugar. Like chocolate, you could take away. I mean, I could do like one piece of Reese's something because who can't, like, once in a while. But sugar, like pure sugar and stuff like that. But like certain gummies I can't have. And guess if nerd gummies are on.
Let me ask you a question, Jamie. I'm about to change your life. I'm about to be your version of Oprah. Is there a certain type of gelatin you can eat?
No. It's gelatin I can't. But a lot of candies have taken it out. That's the weird thing. I don't know what they're replacing it with, but a lot of candies that once had gelatin, a lot of these gummy things.
Like not a vegan gelatin or like a fake gelatin.
For this, are you going to make this for me?
Yeah,
is that what
that's what I'm insinuating. I'm going to make you some,
some homemade.
Brilliant idea.
No, Haribo I can't.
I'm not going to make, they're not going to be Haribos. I'm going to find
vegan gummy bears.
Gummy bears. And I'm going to melt them some bitches down. Try not to burn myself as it becomes liquid magma. Get it in the ball shape. Put some nerds on there and make you Mole King Edition mole clusters. Because I feel like I can't call them.
Yeah, you can. That's a perfect thing to call them. Yeah.
Mole clusters.
The fact that you would do this for me.
I think I threw up in my mouth.
Our relationship has come such a long way.
Look at this.
All right, let's get back on track. We've got a really coul movie to talk about. At least some of us, spoiler alert, think it's a really cool movie. What we're going to do, though, just for our audience, because we understand this is coming out while this is still in theaters, and that's usually not the case with our movie reviews, I'm going to have our hosts hold any spoilers during their introductory part, and then when we get to questions, all bets are off. That's your warning. We'll give you a spoiler note when we get into our questions, when we get to the fun conversation, but we'll try and keep it spoiler free while we give our overarching thoughts. Is everybody fair?
Yep.
But before we do that, as we do every episode, we're going to do our section of On the Fly Synopsis, where one of my hosts has to give a synopsis of the movie, having not prepared it all, because that's how we do things around here. And I am going to call on Master Eli to answer a question for me to decide if I or Jamie have to give the synopsis for Alien Romulus.
Okay.
So we all know that it's only a matter of time, Eli, after the coming apocalypse that you've just kind of pointed out to us, that your reign in the Mole Kingdom corrupts your mind and you begin experimenting with hybrid species. We know that's coming. I mean,
it definitely hasn't started now.
Wink. So which of these creations is most likely to be the one that ends you? Like the creature that turns on you? Is it going to be the kill mole deer? Or is it going to be the goat donkey lady?
Oh, easily. I would never make a kill mole deer because I don't want them to be vicious. And I love the donkey lady. And I think
you would think you could control her.
Name her, and it would blow up my face. So definitely be the donkey lady hybrid for sure.
The goat donkey lady. Well, surprise, surprise, Jamie, you are up to talk about. Give us a quick rundown on Alien Romulus.
It's funny. I love that you always have to tell you do, because it's what we like. If someone's never listened, that it's an on the fly with no preparation. I just want to reassure people that we do this every week, and legit. I still never think to write down something to say and read it. So here we go. And we're gonna keep it spoiler free. So I'm just gonna say we've got a group of teenagers that Jamie wished subtitles were on movies in the theater, and almost thought about going to a hearing impaired one because I could not understand their accents. And who are in a mining community, right? Like all the other, I think, aliens, right? They are like a mining community. They want to travel to another, what do you call that? It's not a sect, another planet.
Another planet.
Colony, but like another planet, right? Yeah, they want to go to another planet because they want to see the sun was part of it. Planet. Anyway, they want to go to another planet. They can't get there due to government regulations. So they know that there's like a derelict ship hanging out above them that they insist must have these sleep pods that we've seen in every alien movie in them. And they can use those and something and get to this other planet because they're never going to get there otherwise. So they're going to do illegal shit. They're going to steal them. They're going to do whatever. And these like teenagers, right? They're all like teenagers, but they're all obviously like adult teenagers. Like they live by themselves. They have no family.
Yeah, they're orphans. Yeah,
they're orphans. Yes. So they're going to do this. They're going to do this with the help of a synthetic, like we have in every other movie, and we'll get there. So basically, they go to this derelict ship, and much as you would expect, like most alien movies, this ship is not just fucking empty, and chaos ensues. Alien chaos ensues. I'm going to leave it at that because that's the plot of Alien Romulus.
Branded alien chaos. Yeah, if you've seen any of them, you know where the plot is going.
Yes. And without getting into why or what's going on the ship, you know what I mean? That is the plot. They're going to get these pods. There's a derelict ship. They get to the derelict ship, and now we got Alien. So that's where I'm going to stop.
All right. We already know you were in a foul mood. You didn't get your bucket of destiny. But Eli, tell us your overarching thoughts. Where did this one land for you? Tell us all about it. Time to vent, buddy.
Listen, I'm going to start this off by saying, this week, I thought the weirdest thing, and weirdest yet disappointing thing I was ever going to see was, did you know the actor Crispin Glover tried to have a singing career?
No. But I see him
released
dancing
one song in the 90s, and it was this talk jazz song about killing clowns. I didn't know existed. I saw it. It disturbed me. It upset me at the same time. I was like, that's the craziest shit that disappointed me I'm going to see all year. Until I saw this Aliens. I have this weird thing with Fede Alvarez. I liked his Evil Dead. I did not like his Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And like,
that was terrible.
And what I'll say is like, he had this with the Evil Dead remake, he had this sweet, like kind of middle line where he was obviously doing nods and callbacks and stuff. And it was great. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like only the first one existed. And I don't know what he picked from that one besides weird 90-year-old Sally, Texas Ranger. But like, it was terrible. And then he went the complete opposite direction with this one, to the point where there were times watching this, I was like, I don't know how people who aren't familiar with the whole Alien franchise, including comics and video games, understand what the fuck is going on in this movie. Because I saw interviews, because I saw the trailers, and I was like, okay, all right, maybe. But then, like, I read one review, he's like, if you're a fan of the video game Alien Isolation, you're going to love this movie. And I was like, okay, that could be interesting. And then it's like, if you ever read the Alien comics, you're going to love this. I was like, okay, all right. And then this movie is literally from beginning to end, nothing but callbacks and nods and like pulling lore from all these different things that almost oversaturated. And like, I love Aliens franchise. I've read most of the comics, which I've really enjoyed. I played the video games. I watched all the movies. And like, even for me at times, I was like, why in the hell are they bringing this into this? Like this, I know this because I follow this stuff, but like, if someone who doesn't watch this, they might be like, what the hell's why? How is this in the Alien universe? And so like, it got to the point where the movie felt like he was just putting stuff in there to nod and point at all this stuff. All the alien movies are references. Prometheus, whatever that shitty second one of Prometheus is called, I can't remember right now. Covenant, thank you. All the alien, like everything is jammed in this, and like it's really a shame because but my favorite part of this movie was the imagery, because it was obviously an updated look with updated CGI, but it had the same grit and graininess. It felt like the original Alien movie. Like that opening shot, like with them in space and like the way the ship looked and like the computers, and like it was like, I love the look of this. And there's some scenes like I really like, but like there's so much shit they jammed into this that, to me, and he's tried to, like, there's a lot of this. You could tell he based off the video game to the point where like the actual xenomorphs aren't in the movie enough. There's like 3 good scenes with them. Most of the time you're looking at face huggers, or what we'll get into when we talk about spoilers. And I was just like, okay. But I'm glad he included this one. He made a major plot point out of this one small reference in the comics that really doesn't matter. And I don't know why he included that in here, because like the general Alien audience is not going to give a shit. And like, and maybe it's just me, but the people that do like all that stuff, it just felt weird that of all the things to put in it, like they try to jam some of these things in it. It was disappointing. I didn't like a lot of the cast. There's one thing about this movie that infuriated me, beyond all self-control, that I thought it was really stupid that they put in this movie, who I would say is the villain, when we get to it.
Got it.
I thought that was really dumb. And then like, and there's a lot of like shots he did that like, now I feel like I gotta go back and play Alien Isolation, because I'm like, oh, that's almost directly from that game. I'm like, that's weird that we're doing. So like, I don't know. I feel like he hit the sweet spot with Evil Dead, and then he went too far the opposite direction with Texas Chainsaw, and now he's like, he overcorrected for this to the point where like it felt like a different movie that just happened to have aliens in it. And so like I don't know. Like, was it the worst movie I've ever seen? It's no antlers. But for an Alien movie, I don't even, or even if you want to do like all of Alien products, but like I don't even know if I'd put this in my top 5. To be honest, like it was better than Covenant, which that's like saying, well, my poop was solid, not diarrhea.
We'll talk about this because there are 7 of these movies, but Covenant is your last. Covenant?
Listen, 4 is a guilty pleasure.
4 is fucking okay.
And I think 3 is better than people give it credit for.
No, see, okay, we'll get there. We're gonna have, because obviously
this is a conversation
we're gonna have this. Yeah, but anyway, we won't. Yeah, I won't do it in the intro, in your beginning thoughts. But
well, and just in my heart of hearts, I have to know, in the multiverse, out there in another dimension, the Eli that got his bucket and has that treasure has a completely different perspective on this entire movie.
Listen, if I had my bucket, may I had been a little bit more forgiving about. I tell you what, if you were holding
the face hugger, like
if I was holding it, eating nerd gummy clusters out of it while watching this, I think instead of 30 minutes in being like, why are we putting all this shit in it? I probably would have made at least 3/4 of the way into the movie. Because I just kept turning my light on. I was in the theater by myself. I'd have probably just held it up in the air like, ooh, wee, you know.
All right, Jamie, what do you think of this one? Because I know we've talked about it. We've covered Alien, the original, and you and I agreed that that's hallowed ground for us. So I'm interested to see kind of where you landed on this one.
So, a couple things. Since we don't have to start about the first time we ever saw this or whatever, because I will say that going into this, I watched 1, 2, Covenant, I think, before seeing it. Then watched 3, fell asleep during the end of 3 and Resurrection, but watched Resurrection, and fell asleep during Prometheus, but watched some of it. So I watched all 7 of them in the span of 3 days, I think.
You soaked in it.
This Alien fucking kick. Was I really fully paying attention? No, I've seen the first 2 like a ton of time, but I'm just saying, like, I had this whole get them in my brain because I'm going to go see this. I had the one thing I did hear, Dave, was because I had just come off the Olympics and now I had like off or whatever. And like everything, it was just coming out. I was seeing a lot of raving reviews about it. And I was just like, it was already amping. And I was like, God, I only have 4 days. Let me just get there and see it quick. Like, but like, yeah, let's like, and then I was going to see it Saturday, but I started Sunday. So that put a whole nother day in, but whatever. So I want to say a couple things because Eli actually brought some stuff up that I wanted to say in my intro about this movie. Is it the best Alien movie? Some people are trying. Absolutely not. Like when you said that, Eli, I think in text you said you heard it's the best or the worst. Like it's neither of those things, in my opinion. It's neither of those things because Aliens 2 is the best Aliens is the best Alien movie, and then Alien. Like nothing is going to top those 2 movies. It's just not. But then you have for the Alien franchise, as I just rewatched them all, a lot of meandering, just like. None of them are fantastic. 1 and 2 are fantastic movies. Don't get me wrong. And then it takes a dive because of all of them. And again, we'll talk about 3 is the one I've seen the least. So when I rewatched it these past few days, I was actually shocked at how bad 3 was. And it's not even that. It's just, it went full CGI in that one. Like the alien looks fucking terrible and it's slow as shit. Like it's all about this prison and these guys. And it's just like, it's really slow. So fine. This one's a little slow, but like, so is the original and like whatever. It takes a while for things to like pick up. But once it does, I feel it fits pretty well in these. And I'd put this somewhere in the middle. Like, and the thing I wanted to actually like bring up was, I mean, I had a good time. I went with a group of friends. We all had a good time. And to that point, Eli, I went with someone who never saw an Alien so we made, so she watched 1. Okay. She watched 1 in full. Knowing that this takes place, for those that don't know, this takes place between 1 and 2, Alien and Aliens, whatever. So she watched 1. And then she told us she watched like a 30-minute, what's it called? Refresher course on the internet of like what all the rest of them are. So she knew, but like she hasn't, now she's going to sit down. She's going to watch 2 next, which makes sense then because this is like kind of in between those 2. So it's a nice little,
it's chronological.
And then she's going to watch them or whatever. And she enjoyed it too. So to your point of someone who like hasn't even know the Alien universe, she can watch it as someone who doesn't really know the Alien universe and did enjoy it as a sci-fi movie, thriller, whatever you want to call it. As someone who's in the Alien universe, not as versed as you, I didn't read the comics, whatever. Yeah, I'm going to miss some of that stuff, but it didn't bother me. The stuff I did miss and the stuff I did catch, especially having just watched the other ones, whether they're very obvious references, like keep away from her, you bitch, or whether they're just subtle references, those are fun. Complaints I saw online were that this was like too fan servicey. But I want to ask this question then, because like this has been brought up. And I think he is good at fan service because Evil Dead, I think, is a great fucking movie. And I think he does that perfectly, like you said. Texas Chainsaw was terrible. Don't Breathe, I think, is a decent movie. So like for me, he's still in the positive. And this was going to be the breaking point for me with him because I love to think he's great. And then I was like, but let's see what he does with Alien. He's in the positive. Fede Alvarez is in the green. He's got 1 terrible as far as I'm concerned, 1 amazing. And then like these rest are like, in the middle, but we're going to give him like.
He's averaging on the positive side.
He's averaging on the positive. And that's maybe because Evil Dead brings like plus 1,000 to it. Yeah. It's fine. I asked the question though, like in a series like this that has probably gone on way longer than it should. We're talking the late 70s to 2024. More credit to all these people keeping this thing fucking alive. More credit to all of us who keep seeing these phallic aliens in theaters and loving it. But like, is it better than for a movie? And I'm gonna say yes, because I'm gonna go with this movie. Is it better to be fan servicey or shit all over our franchise? And I'm gonna say like, I'd rather you as I'm sitting there and laughing at corny lines that were in the other movies and whatever, maybe they're too obvious. Maybe Stay Away From Her was a little too, people cheered though. Like, it's just like, so it's like,
he got the reaction he was hoping for.
I'd rather it be fan servicey to the people that get it than shit on a franchise. Like, if they come in and just like ripped this apart and did their own take that was just completely out of I think this fits in the Alien universe. I think it fits the lore, and it tried to tie other things in while like it takes place between the first two and all this stuff. We'll get to spoilery stuff that, but like, I'd rather he do that. I'd rather he service me and oh god, I'd rather he fucking
nice.
I'd rather he
let me make a timestamp real quick.
We do that, then come into a franchise and just like, you know what I'm trying to say? We've had directors do that, take over a franchise and just destroy
I don't care what it was.
Yeah, and I think it was evident with Evil Dead that he knows how to do that right when he loves something, like you said.
Because he's a fan.
I had faith that Alien was not going to be like ripped apart. It might have like moment, So we'll talk about it. This is in a good way, I would say this is the most you've ever gotten face huggers. We'll talk about that. Like Evolved, usually they only have their one scene. They do the same thing every goddamn 7 Alien movies. This one gave a little more. I did see the clips of the little face huggers crawling across the floor of like on TikTok and Instagram, like the practical effects. Of course, I did see before it came out. Like it wasn't like all of them, but it was like one just scurrying across. And it's like, he's doing this like with love and enjoyment and excitement. So it's like, you gotta feel that a little bit. And you do feel it in this. I mean, all I kept saying going into it was that I hope it had again, as I had just watched all of them, but like that I hoped it had the same intro as most of them where the letters just like come up, and it kind of did the reverse. I think it took them away. And I was just like, okay, at least it's cute to me. Like he's doing the things that like, fit in the world. And I think he does it mostly in the right way. I can get what Eli's saying, but I also didn't think it took away or added, it kind of just like, so I guess that's like my overall too many thoughts, but like, we'll get into like the actual specifics. But like I said, I went with someone who's never seen them besides the first one. She just watched it. She did not watch it in the 80s. Like she literally watched it the other day and then saw this one.
And it sounds like you both had friends.
Yeah. And me on the other hand, I watched them all in the next 3 days. Right. So.
Because what else?
Trying to rank them. Yeah. Trying to rank them internally. I still can't figure this out. But
I agree. Just to clarify my point real quick, I'm not mad about fan service. I
get that.
A personal thing with me is like with the reason I respect Evil Dead so much was he made a lot of nods to the fans, but it was an original story. Like it was different. Where like my area of this one is he did so many nods that like everything is so connected that it was just like. This is a whole universe. These things are all around, and we're like, it's almost like what Disney's doing with Star Wars. Every time you turn around, a fucking Skywalker shows up.
That family propagates.
Well,
so for me, obviously, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but I was really excited about this. We were talking about before we started recording that there is so rarely a horror movie that gets to be a summer popcorn movie. That when it happens and there's a big marketing event around it, I get kind of caught up in all of that. And, not to the point of I overhype it or I defend it unfairly. If the movie's crap, it's still crap. And that's happened too. But I was really excited, especially this year this came out the week after Deadpool and Wolverine, which is the biggest movie in the last 3 years. I think it just crossed $1 billion before it even went international. So it was already kind of punching outside its weight as a horror movie, as a true horror R movie. Like it's not a PG-13 high school horror movie. This is a full bore, gory. That's what I was being pitched in the marketing. So I got really excited about that. So I saw this 100% paid the extra $10 to see it in IMAX because it was shot in IMAX. And this is the kind of movie you see in that full ratio. And this movie is gorgeous. That's the first thing I'll say about it. I think you made the point, Eli. As soon as that opening scene opened in the cockpit with all of the sounds from the original Alien, the DOS screens from the original Alien, I got really excited. Everything's covered in dirt and oil and water and filthy. You feel like all the ships are seconds from falling apart. I got really excited about that because then to the point y'all have made, you're dealing with a fan. Like the person who's making this film is a fan of this universe. I liked the central relationship between Rain and Andy. I thought they had a good dynamic. I liked the relationship they had. I felt it was very real to me. I could get behind them as a person. One of the things that I got really excited about, and anybody who's even a part-time Alien Ridley Scott fan, you've heard in the past that, obviously these movies, this universe and the Blade Runner universe are the same universe. It's just at different time periods in that universe. And I could feel that in this. Like when we were on the mining planet, I felt the Blade Runner stuff happening, that everybody's kind of beaten down. There's this corporate oppression on everybody. There's literally no hope. Everybody is kind of just drones just going through trying to live a life. There is no hope. There is no optimism. There is none of that stuff. It's a very nihilistic look at where humanity is heading. But this is the first Alien movie that I felt that Blade Runner perspective coming into. Just even the motivation, this crew that Jamie described earlier, that they're desperately just trying to get off this planet because they know they're never going to be let go. They're going to have to run away and do that illegally. There's no way the corporation is ever going to let them out of their contracts and they're going to be able to have some great life. The only way that they're going to have a great life is that they go away, which in the middle of everything that's happening in our own country, I think is a very interesting conversation to be having, especially by a filmmaker like Fede Alvarez, who probably feels that very tightly. So I thought that was a really compelling take for him to take about these people who have no hope. There's no opportunity. There's nothing is going to be given to them. Their life is going to suck unless they do something dramatic to change their life. And they're willing to risk everything to do that. So anyway, we'll talk more about that. But that also feels very Blade Runner. I mean, in Blade Runner, they're always referencing the off-world, like the planets and the mines and the wars and all of these other places. And now I have a vision of this is what these are the kind of lives that they're referencing off of Earth. Like Blade Runner is happening on Earth, Alien is happening off Earth, but it's the same kind of problems. They're all having the same problems of corporate greed and all of that stuff. Anyway, the plot is perfectly simple. But I said this in the original Alien. The original Alien movie is a perfectly simple movie. I mean, it is not convoluted. It has these, just like I was talking about with this one, they both have these really smart undertones, these secondary stories, these plot threads that are really compelling if you want to chase them down. If you don't, on the surface of them, they're a simple movie, well executed, with a great cast and all that. So I thought from a plot standpoint, this was perfectly simple, yet it's not a retread of any specific Alien movie. It's absolutely an Alien movie. It's not like Prometheus or even Covenant, where I'm having to try hard to make it work within the Alien universe. This one is 100% an Alien movie.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to defend itself in that way. This feels like a perfectly acceptable Aliens sequel. And as a person who I probably rank them Alien than Aliens, but agree completely, Jamie. Those two are in another league from all the rest.
Yeah, than all.
and in genuine conversations, and I've heard other people say this before, everybody gets really frustrated that the source material everybody wants to return to is that original source material of the original Alien, and nobody's really expanded the Aliens side of the equation. But this one feels like it is much more a sequel to Aliens than it is the original Alien. Now, obviously, to y'all's point, and I agree, there's a lot of that referential stuff, even down to the drinking bird and all of that stuff. But as a movie, but as a movie, this one follows that Aliens. It's action packed. It's going from set piece to set piece. Things are happening, and you're on rails. It's a fun house ride, and it does pay off a lot of the stuff it promised. Now, did it pay off everything? We'll talk more about that. But I think as a Aliens sequel, does it blow it out of the water? No, Aliens is still far superior, but this is a perfectly acceptable sequel to that plotline or that story. Great sound design. If you're going to do an Alien movie, sound is going to be half your movie. Just all the bleeps and bloops, all of the alien breathing, all of the creaking haunted house sounds on the spaceship. That sound design is critical. And there were literal sound bites that they used from the Isolation movie that made me laugh or made me smile. But it had great sound design. Some of the best set design in Alien since those original two. The set designs were far above anything that we've gotten in the last several movies. I really felt like I was back in that universe. Like I said, I have two downsides that are strong to me. One of them I'll share now, and then one I'll save for when we get to the actual conversation with spoilers. But the one thing that was down for me that was disappointing is both Alien and Aliens were small casts, but all of those people in those casts I had a vested interest in. They were compelling, interesting people. Other than the ones that I mentioned, the two central characters, everybody else was a cardboard cutout. Yep. They didn't make me care for them. There was nothing compelling about them at all, which if you only have 6 people in an Alien movie, I need to care about all 6 of them. I need to feel it when they die. And I just didn't in this one, which is a shame. But that is the one thing that I thought he didn't nail down. And I felt very similar in Texas Chainsaw, which is a similar formula with a totally different story, but it's also a small group of people that are getting picked off one by one. If you only have 6 people, I got to care about all of them, or I'm going to be bored until you get to the people I do care about, which is what happened in this one. So those are my overall thoughts that I wanted to share. Before we kick off, I do want to hand off to Jamie. We are officially, to the listeners, in spoiler zone. If you know who you align with on the podcast, you know now whether you want to see it first. But because we're going to talk about, I mean, it's not just spoilers of things you expect to happen. There's some stuff that happens in this movie that I wouldn't want you to have spoiled. I would not want to have had spoiled for me before I see the movie. So genuinely, if you feel like you might enjoy having the experience of seeing this movie the way the filmmaker intended for you to see it, pause, stop the podcast, go see the movie. That's the advice I think we would all give you at this point. Yeah. Have that experience, and then you can come back and listen to how that experience impacted each of us. So, Jamie, spoiler. You're free to speak openly now.
We're free to speak openly. Well, I wasn't even. I'm not. Well. Wait, I'm not. Before I even get into spoiler territory, I wanted, because I just wrote it down because I just thought of it too. Is this because it's fairly kind of early? I don't know. Maybe not. Is this the first time in an Alien movie we have seen the vagina-looking birth of an alien?
Yes.
I've never seen that before.
There was so many vaginas in this movie.
Well, it's fucking Alien. Of course there are.
Yeah, the chest burster goes somewhere and becomes the big alien. This is the first time we've seen where it goes and what it does.
Yeah. And see it come out of a vagina. Literally.
Yeah.
An alien head come out of a vagina. And I was just like, holy shit, this is a first. So that was like I don't want to say fun, but again, this is something he's the first one to put us in that place. Yeah. We always see the chest burster. Like you said, we've seen different versions of a chest burster. We've seen different mutations of a chest burster. We've seen the face hugger do its thing. We've seen the chest burster do its thing. And then you're right, it disappears.
Well,
and
at some point,
we get an alien. Okay. Yeah. So I didn't read that. So
no, in the comics, it's kind of vagina-y.
But not as vagina-y?
Not as vagina-y.
I appreciate him going full vagina.
Yeah, he went full vagina.
Because that was fully just a huge vagina on the wall. And then it just came out.
Even though
we've never seen that before.
No, even the face huggers, where the tube comes out, it always kind of looked like vagina, but it was super.
Oh no, it was really super vagina-y this time too. Yeah, it is. So I'm gonna jump right into major spoiler for 1 second. I'm just gonna it's not even that I wanna ask a simple question about it. But so at the end, so for anybody that doesn't know, we have a pregnant character in this movie. So shit's not gonna go great there because she's already pregnant or whatever.
Yeah.
By the end of this movie, with this pregnant character that is going to be our final girl, even though we know shit about her, like Dave said, I couldn't even tell you. The only names I could give you are the two that Dave mentioned. I don't even. She might be like Kay or Kate or something. There might be a K in there. I'm not really sure. Doesn't matter. she's going to be saved because she's the pregnant one and whatever. We get to the ship, and as every alien movie, every single one, when we think we're safe, we're absolutely not. We have to have a last go with the alien. That's an alien movie, and that doesn't bother me. We have to suck it out of the ship, and we have to have a last battle. This has to happen in every alien movie. So we're back on our ship. We're having our last battle, but this time, our last battle is, and I'm not even going to get into like how it comes out. We'll get to, I'm going to let Dave tell how the mom, what happens to the mom.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to do that for you, buddy. But we have this woman give birth to a human alien hybrid that rivals Resurrection in funniness, in my opinion. But so now this thing looks like the Prometheus characters or whatever. Like it brings in Prometheus or whatever in a way. It is just fucking silly to me. I don't know. I literally had back to my friend, and I'm not trying to call her out, but she's like the newbie to this. She literally told us when she left, it gave her nightmares. And I've seen that online. I was sitting there, and that's why I want to text you guys so bad. And Eli had to wait 8 days to see this fucking movie. But like, just laughing at it like Resurrection. I don't know which one's worse to me. I haven't decided yet.
This one had more nose. I don't know if that's
I tell you what, Jamie. You knew as soon as like they showed before we get to it, like they showed something and they're like, inject this center. I was like, that mother.
You knew she was.
Fucker. I was like, I was like, if she births a Promethean, I'm gonna scream. And not only does she birth the Promethean, it's a Promethean alien hybrid that when the first egg it opens, you see its face.
Oh, the baby.
I was like, baby what the fuck?
Yeah, so that was annoying.
You see the big one stand up. I laughed so hard because one, it looked terrible, and then two, there's this shot where like you see it fully and where its genitalia should be. There's just an X.
Yes.
And I was like, what the fuck is this?
But here's my simple question as we're about to go into it. So let's just start with the end. Let's just start with this creature, because this is what everybody's going to need to talk about when this movie is done. But here's my, I guess, little nitpicky thing. Is this movie is made full intentions to be between alien and aliens, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We never see something like this in any other alien movie. Rightfully so. This is a new one. But it bothers me because, like, there's no way in all of these alien franchises when they're taking full mining communities and turning them into like that another pregnant woman would not have gotten impacted in some way. Like, and again, this is so nitpicky in a series that has gone bizarrely off the fucking walls at some times. But I'm just sitting there going, this takes place all the way back in 21, whatever, or whenever Alien is. I go, and we've had all these movies after it, but no one's had this fucking hybrid baby thing come out of it. So I think they want to do something new. I'm not going to fault him for that. Yeah. But that one kind of annoyed me more than I thought it was like cool. Now, I know, again, people thought it was the scariest thing they've ever seen in their life.
People are dumb.
It's fine. Yeah. But I was just like,
that was also from the comics.
That thing?
Yeah, but the thing is, I think maybe this is like one of the things that got frustrated is like, the universe is so large in this story. Like it's huge. And like to Dave's point, like it's even connected to Blade Runner. And like not only Dave, like you're right, like the world, but like you start to see the anti-synth trust stuff coming out.
Yeah.
And like I was like, that's a cool nod. I did like that. But like that's something like so like that was happening in like points in the different extended universe. And like so he like of all the scenes to pull from, like that one kind of felt weird, but like then again, like you could tell like he was literally connecting this to every movie, and every plot point in every movie,
but also give him credit as someone who's taking a franchise that's been done 6 times prior and whatever, and he knows he has to stick with. He knows he has to give us more. He has to give us space. Like there's a
lot of canon out there.
Yeah, he wants to give something new. And so now here's his one element that's new. And I get it. You're telling me it's pulled from here, but it hasn't been seen yet. And to those of us that haven't read the comics and haven't, whatever, like this was his one chance for his, he didn't make the dog alien and he didn't make the fucking resurrection mutant, Ripley alien thing. So here's his contribution is this Prometheus child fucking hybrid.
Now, what I would argue is I think this creature would have worked better. Because like when he did the interview and he said, like, if you're a fan of the video game Alien Isolation, you'd really like this. See, in my Alien is my favorite because it's like this tight, small haunted house film, and everything's so tight knit and like it's terrifying because it's almost like Jaws. Like there's nowhere to go. Like you have these small tunnels. It's tight. It's cramped. This thing can get around them like nobody's business. And I was hoping that he was going to kind of go back to that in this movie, and he didn't, unfortunately. But like when he said that, I was hoping because like I think that type of environment, this creature may have worked better.
This thing, yeah.
Because like if there's a lot more like shadow and like
him creeping around,
right, and like you just saw like at first you saw it, and then like
because he's really skinny too. He's oddly shaped.
Right, he looks like a crackhead. Like he looks like a crackhead with a tail and an X penis. Like I, you know what I mean? And like it's if it would have been tight, and then like at the end, like if you kind of saw him, but in like almost like the end of the first scene, like you saw it stand up, but there was so much darkness and shadow that like it helped cover.
Yeah.
That original costume, like in the imperfection, like that would have worked there, not in this where it was like, hey, look at me, and like my blade 2 tongue and my X penis.
Why are you calling it a piece? It's basically a vagina. There's nothing there. It's a hole, if anything.
Vagina, whatever it was, like his whatever his no go.
Yeah, had nothing. Yeah.
Whatever it is,
just call it its situation.
Yeah, it's situation. Like it just like because like I was like I think that like was probably my play because like I said there's scenes in this movie I really like, but then they would do something that would like I would start to get in, and then they would do something that was like pump the brakes. I'd be like, oh, I was like, wait, what the fuck is this? And like that was one of those where I was like, okay, this could be interesting. What we're about to see, and then Aldi's brand Pumpkinhead stands up, and I'm like, oh.
It was a weird thing. It was a weird thing.
And I'll say, you know, as I thought about it, you know, obviously you all know this. I overthink movies, and as I was processing out of this movie, I will say that I enjoyed that. As far as an alien hybrid goes, we've talked about them. We've had 3, and it's always been an alien, whether it's a facehugger or an alien queen, whatever it is, it's always the alien infecting a human or a dog or whatever it is, and then you get a hybrid chest burster out of it. It's the alien's process. This had nothing to do with what the alien was doing. This had everything to do with what the science of the humans was doing, because what they told us was this special magic serum that they created was to make humans more resilient, to survive better in space, to make them more adaptable. That they saw that was the thing that Bishop in the original movie was saying, is that they are the perfect adaptable creature. Like they adapt to their environment better than anything else. So that's what Weyland-Yutani wanted with the alien. We've always known that corporation wanted the aliens because they saw that there was a marketable opportunity to expand the corporation's domain. So this magic serum that they created by synthesizing the DNA of the alien was supposed to be the thing that would make humans the best versions of humanity. And then we get a birth sequence to where, and this is what Jamie wanted me to share, is, you know, you have a young mother who was pregnant before she got there. So this isn't her being impregnated by an alien. She was pregnant.
But when you get that info in the movie, you're like, oh, she's fucked.
Yeah.
In one way or another.
Had no chance in hell, yeah. But then she has a mortal wound by I can't even remember if it was an alien or just she was injured during all
it was an
it's
alien.
An alien. He grabs her and takes her into the thing.
And then she gets some mortal wound, but she's already gotten this information, and we'll talk about from whom here in a minute. But she's already got this information that this serum that they have taken with them just as sort of a first aid kit, sort of this opportunity, because all they know about this stuff that's in this vial is that it's supposed to be some supercharging Mario mushroom to make humans heal better and adapt and give them all these superpowers. So in the moment of she's going to die, her baby's going to die, she makes the decision to inject herself. with this stuff. And then we get this hybrid mayhem that ensues of she has a rapidly extended, she does at first, she starts to feel that she's healing up. It's doing what she was hoping it would do, but then her pregnancy goes into fifth gear. Like she becomes much more pregnant very quickly, which we knew was coming. But in the actual birth sequence, which to Fede Alvarez's credit, it is very Fede Alvarez, the whole birthing sequence. It's over the top, gory, disgusting, nasty, horrifying, visceral, all the stuff that we had hoped for. But she gives birth to an egg with a baby in it. It's not an egg with an alien in it. It's an egg with a baby in it. And then that baby scurries off and then becomes pretty much the Slender Man alien.
Yeah.
Which I think, and I said all that up to say, the only thing I really found compelling about the hybrid alien thing, which for whatever reason people keep trying to do, when they get a hold of the Alien franchise, that's what they want to do, is they want to take the adaptability of the alien and tie it back to humanity in some way, just like Weyland-Yutani does. But then we see a creature that is a human with this DNA sequencing serum in them.
You know what that serum was, don't you? That was the black goo from Prometheus.
From Prometheus, right? That's what I thought. Right. They release on the...
Yeah, that's why it looked like... Yeah, because like they said, like, oh, we found this stuff in it. And like you see it, the black goo bubbling up.
Right.
And then like we just distilled that was the black goo from Prometheus. That's why it looked like...
Right.
Prometheus. Or Promethean.
But it was interesting to me to get a hybrid of this is what an actual alien human would be. Instead of an alien infected by, or a human infected by an alien, this is an actual hybrid. This is the first true hybrid we've seen. And it's monstrous at first, and then it gets silly. Like when it's standing, when it's squatting down spider style in the hallway and we get our first look at it, and then the face looks up, I had an oh shit moment. Like that was a really cool image. And then the more you spend time with it, the more goofy it becomes. Because let's be honest, when you start making things more human, they don't get more scary; they get less scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
I mean, you have a creature, and I'm going to go with the xenomorph, whereas in this movie, the xenomorph, which I've always called them xenomorphs, but in this we were calling them xenomorphs. Which I guess, based on the way it's spelled, that would be the proper saying of it. I prefer xenomorph, so I'm going to stick with that. But you have something like the xenomorph, phallic or not, is objectively one of the coolest creature designs we've gotten in our whole life. In cinema history, to me, is the alien. Yeah. So anything, let alone something that's a human hybrid, like you said, it to me is, no matter how hard they keep trying with this, is lesser. The only time we ever got more, and I'm going to say that word, is when we got the queen. And that was it. That was peak. Because, like, you just got she was fucking bigger, more menacing, her head, like, that's it. But giving me a human hybrid is in no way, in a movie where we are so used to seeing xenomorphs, and now I know we're used to seeing them, but they are there's nothing that's going to top that in fear to me anymore, or whatever. Like you just said, like, this thing, and I thought you were going to talk about how it was killing the mom, because that was when you and I texted.
Drinking the slime out of her boob?
But that's good. So...
I texted Jamie to confirm before I was going to say anything in the podcast, but the whole her having the horrific experience of reaching into her bra and it's all slimy, and then I'm like, oh God, I know where this is going now. And literally having the baby come over and nurse the mom to death.
Yeah.
I didn't need that. That was almost okay, Fede, take a breath.
Well, I said to Dave, well, he said, is that what she, I said, well, I was like, her boobs seem kind of high. I said, but I'm not going to body shame. I don't know what's going on here.
You know what I said out loud in the theater? Because I was by myself in the theater during that scene? Ramamume. Because when she reached in her bra, there's all those black streaks in it. I went, is she leaking tar out of her nipples? And then, like,
I know this person.
Yeah. Wait, is this the star of a different movie?
It's the origin of Ramamume.
Yeah. Well, like, okay, he wanted to do a different creature, but like, in my mind when I saw it, because like I was the same way. Like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this could be kind of creepy if he keeps in the shadow and like dark, and then he brings down the light. I'm like, okay, Aldi's brand Pumpkinhead, because that's what it looked like. And like, I was driving home, I was thinking like, okay, if you pulled so much from like the comics and all the extended universes, they've introduced, because like the aliens, like in like the comics, like the they adapt to the environment. So like there's all these different versions of xenomorph based on the environment there is. I was like, you could have maybe like done that route and introduced like one of those instead of this like whatever the fuck this Mr. X was. And it was like, or like if he would have just tightened up and like I wish they wouldn't be afraid to go back to that smaller, tighter environment. Because like that, honestly, I would probably, if that had been the case and there was a lot of shadow and I didn't see all this bits and bobs, I probably would have really liked this creature.
Yeah. It's important to note, though, to your point, that at least, let's see, like Prometheus, a whole world, Covenant, a whole world, 3, a whole prison. At least this one is small. We are on the ship, and we're on the ship the whole time. It does feel more open than Alien, but it has literally larger set pieces. Like when even that scene which let's go there actually, because like that was a cool thing. Like again, in a franchise that's been around X amount of years, I don't even want to do the math, but
45 this year.
40, there we go. Yeah. Okay. And like has done 7 of them and has tried to do different things, but he's trying to keep it, So our new thing here, besides this hybrid, so now Resurrection, as much as we want to pick on it, gives us that really cool water scene, which has not been done anywhere. And I think everybody always talks about that water scene. I will give it credit. I just rewatched it. It's a fucking tense. It's a cool scene. You don't get it's a weird thing. This one gave us aliens without gravity and acid without gravity. So so this was our new thing in this one. And so that scene felt a little bit, even though they're in a tunnel, to me, it felt more open than the previous like tunnels in Aliens. Like it was a little bit more open, but based on what we had to do in this scene, it had to be. And like the same thing with the elevator scene, I really liked. And because they use it again there, kind of the gravity thing and like whatever. So we played with that in this movie.
And that was a very clever Ripley-like solution to the problem. I thought that was very clever what she did.
Yeah. So if you've seen it or not, and you want to, so she realizes, they can't shoot the aliens because, as we all know, they bleed acid, and then they're on the bottom floor, right? So it will do the whole.
They're right against the outside.
It'll suck everything out, which we're gonna do because it's an alien movie. So don't worry, we are gonna suck things out of the ship. But so she can't do that. So she has the light bulb moment, which I love in movies like this because I would never have this light bulb fucking moment. Who would in panic of 3 aliens coming at you, whatever? It becomes more, but like in the beginning, it's like 3 xenomorphs coming at her. She has this light bulb moment that if we turn off the gravity, the acid is going to float up instead of down, hopefully. So we get this cool, like, she's got the full, like, machine gun thing, whatever they're called in Aliens and Alien or whatever. And she's
that
just
the Marines use. I love that line.
Yeah. And she's just shooting these fucking things, and their acid just starts to float around the whole, like, little tunnel. And then they have to, like air swim their way through it, which the first thing I thought, though, is she's like super concerned, and she's super concerned for Andy, which if we haven't mentioned, that is synthetic in this movie. But like, anything will hurt, right? Like, fuck it if Andy gets what?
I said best synthetic we've had so far.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna give you all your time to talk about Andy and why he's your kinship. But like, the first thing I thought when she told Andy to be careful, is I'm like, fuck, Andy gets like a foot chopped off. Like, he's a fucking synthetic. He doesn't feel. He should just barrel through it all and kind of just like clear it for her. So that,
like, that scene in Austin Powers when like he falls off the building with the lady and he puts her in front of him. Because I thought that was going to happen for a second. I was like,
she should.
I was like, she's.
I mean, that is his prime directive, right?
Yeah, and like, not to be a dick, but he can't feel it. So let him. Like, I'm not trying to say to destroy him, but like, if there's a moment, like, let him.
Swat it out of the way.
Anyway, but that was like a nip. I was just like, come on. Let's, like, I know, like, there's this, like, we're looking out for Andy here, but Andy's fine. Let's be honest. Like, But yeah, so that was a cool thing we got on this one.
And while we're on the subject, the other down that I didn't want to talk about until we got into spoilers is the whole Rook gimmick did not work for me at all. It was the most
people.
The effects were awful. It's like, I don't know if they tacked that on at the end or if they were working with a team that wasn't an aspect, the whole face capture, because you've seen it, hopefully, by the time you got into this part of the podcast. But Rook, which is obviously Bishop, it's literally Ian Holm. They're doing this almost.
Ash is the first one. Bishop is Lance Henriksen.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, Bishop is the good one. Ash, you're right.
Yeah, Bishop's the good one. Ash is it's Ash. It's Ash, but not Yeah.
But it's literally like those rides you have at Disney where they're projecting a talking face onto a mannequin that has no features. I mean, it's that level, and it's so obvious, especially in IMAX. It was like, oh my gosh, they need to pull the camera way back if they're going to do this. They're like right up on him, and the mouth is literally just a CGI projection of him, and it was so distracting, and it literally ripped me out of the movie at those moments. I hated it so much. And then, I mean, if you're going to bring Ian Holm back as a synthetic that's giving advice, you know what that advice is. It's absolute the worst advice you could get from him. And then when he's talking to, and we have the second, or actually the primary synthetic in this movie is Andy, who is much more like Bishop. He's much more like compelled to do actually the right thing. He's much more, in this case, literally simple, because he's a damaged synthetic that Rain's father apparently has found and repaired. He was a mining synthetic, so he was a labor synthetic who was damaged, and the dad did what he could to repair him. So even from the first part of the movie, he is a very one-dimensional character in to me at least, a very sympathetic way. Like he's simple, but he's also simple in a way that you know that he is going to do everything within his facilities to take care of Rain. Like their relationship up to this point, it's obvious that Rain lost all of her parents when she was way too young to survive on her own. And her dad knew that was going to happen. So he provided what he could with this synthetic brother for her so that they could take care of each other. He would never have survived without Rain. Rain would have never survived without him. But then you have this moment on the ship where he gets, quote unquote, an upgrade from the Rook character that we know is going to compel him to turn
what's best for the company.
Because that's what happens to Jamie's point. That's what happens in alien movies. But I hated that happening with a specific character because it seemed so contrived. Like that literally in this movie, they turn it on and off when it's convenient for the story.
He did. But he was really good at it, though. I will give the actor he was really good at going from Andy to whatever you want to call him when he's bad Andy or whatever.
Andy 2.0.
When he's innocent Andy, like the childlike Andy. And then when the no-nonsense business Andy.
Well, it was also weird, too. Like, this is another thing. Like, he brought into the story, but he doesn't explain it very well. And, like, this was one of the things they tied an extended universe with Blade Runner is during this time, all the mining synths look the same. All the science synths look like Rook. So like, I remember like my one friend who watched Tech, he goes, didn't he die? How they bring him, why they bring him back and change his name? And then I'd explain like, well, no, all science synths look like him. And then like, that's when like, and then as people stop trusting, that's when they start changing the looks of them. And then that creates the whole Blade Runner problem. Whatever. But like the thing that, Jay, to your point, like the CGI was terrible. It looked bad in like his mouth. They AI'd his voice for the lines from different roles he's did. And like big Lord of the Rings fan, there are parts where he talks in the pitch raises. I'm like, that's Bilbo Baggins. I'm like, why is he using this Bilbo Baggins?
They sampled all of these.
Yeah. And like, I was like, and like, okay, like I get it. That's the route you want to go. I would have much rather them that do an evil version of Lance Hendrickson, who's still alive and presumably could have like
could have done something
instead of like go back with this Rook character, and then like we have to see like, especially considering this is probably one of the best visually sci-fi horror films I've seen in a long time. Like the visuals of this. That the scene with the ship crashing into the ring of Saturn and then like them fighting over that, beautiful. Like this movie looks so good, and then you have this one turd in the punch bowl that is the worst looking. Like it's like 2003 CGI, and you're just like, oh,
Alien 3 CGI.
Oh, like what is this?
even if from a design standpoint it had worked, the gimmick I didn't need. Like the gimmick was unnecessary. Like it, and literally because of the way it was executed, it had the opposite effect than I think. It wasn't a, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was more of a, oh no.
Yeah.
Would it have been an oh my God if it was Lance Henriksen instead, and we got like an early Bishop instead of, since this technically takes place between the two? Like, would it have been better if we got like Bishop and it was just like an early?
Oh, 100%.
Bishop is supposed to be a better model, so like to your point, like, would it be evil Bishop? But let's just pretend they did a Bishop 1.0 and then Bishop 2.0.
I think because I was like looking online and a lot of people are complaining about Rook.
Yeah, they are.
I think that
people are not
even if
it's a low point.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I think even if they would have went with like Lance Henriksen and people didn't necessarily like that they did that, it wouldn't also be like, and it looked like shit. Because like it's like you get like 2 slaps.
Yeah, because it wasn't
because of it. And it's like where like at least if it was Lance Henriksen, you could have had a real face and like
you're not bringing back a dead person. People are still, no matter what movie studios think, people are not very happy with that. They don't like bringing back a dead person, which rightfully so. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of understand it when like a film, like a movie was being filmed and unfortunately passed away, and you're trying to finish out the film, like let's just say Hunger Games or whatever, and you need to start
or Fast and Furious.
Right, for sure.
Fast and that. Please don't make me cry, Dave. The end of that, the end of that fucking one, where there's 7, whatever it is. Oh my God,
they knew what they were doing.
Oh my God, they destroyed
when
it.
I see you again.
Oh God, stop it. Okay, so but yes, to that point, like, and you want to see a character out, or you want to give them the proper, same thing in Star Wars, right? Did they have to do Carrie Fisher for something?
Yeah.
So like. I get that. This was like an unnecessary one, which is when people start to have a problem, and rightfully so, is like, you don't need to. And yeah, we could have used Lance Henriksen. We probably would have gotten the same, if not better, reaction because he's alive. And like,
shit, with as much callback, just fucking bring Michael Fassbender back. Who gives a shit?
I know. Well, yeah.
It couldn't, anything would have been better than this. Cause like, I remember like.
Wait, technically he's older, right? Wait, technically. He's the oldest.
He's the oldest. He's the original.
Walter and David.
Yeah.
David's the original, and then Walter's I like Walter.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. What's everybody's favorite synthetic in all of the aliens? Let's not even use the movie. Let's just take them all out. You got Winona Ryder and her fucking
her mole line.
Who's your favorite synthetic? And is it Andy? Yeah, I knew.
See, mine was Bishop.
Andy was pretty fucking good. I mean, I think the only competing ones are
He's the most human we've seen.
He is. Yeah, that's the thing. I think I like Bishop, but like Andy's actually kind of like a person, like feels like a person. And I mean, having rewatched I have like a little bit of a soft spot of Walter, not David though. Like the better Mike. I don't know why. I just kind of like because he feels a little bit more like, but. Yeah.
I did not.
The good ones. I like the good ones. And
I did not hate the Andy character, and I thought that was an interesting take to have a synth who wasn't company first. Like I thought that was interesting. I didn't mind that. The fact that he had a marshmallow head at times, like when it like the switch would have like. I mean, he like you looked down the wrong way. He needed a reset. And I understand
he was blue screen. Yeah, he was always.
Yeah, but like. But like that, like the fact that it was such a hard plot device multiple times of him needing reset, and then he gets an upgrade, and then like, oh, we can't get it changed. Oh, good thing this alien came and bitch slapped him because now he needs another reset. And the fact that she like never lost, like they did it so much, I thought, well, at one point she's gonna lose that reset fob, and nope, she always had it, and we're good. We're just boop 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 boop, and I was just like, okay. And then like for them to build up for her first, and like when it got to the end and like he gets bitch slapped again, I thought, I'm like, you watch, he's gonna come back and like sacrifice himself because like that's his prime directive. Nope, he just hardcore reset, can't reset him anymore because he's too fucking broke and he leaked his milk oil or whatever, and like
the end you mean, like the end like
the end. Okay. I thought like maybe like that I got like that would have been like a kind of cool character arc, but they're just like it was like I liked him, but like if at some point if like I was her, I'd be like, listen, man, I gotta figure out how if you can reset yourself. Like I'm wasting hours. Like people look at you wrong and you reset. Like, come on, man. Like, do better.
I like when he froze the first time in the water, and he's just like this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He just locked up. Well, and when Jamie, this was when she had the thing she wanted to talk about, and we were texting back and forth before he last saw it, so we didn't ruin it for him. I had mentioned to her my feelings on Andy and his dad joking. It was so. And the thing that I guess it hit for me because I'm a dad, and just imagining a dad programming this very simple synthetic android that he is leaving for his probably 8 or 9-year-old daughter when he knows he's going to die. This is all he gets to leave, and taking the time to program these moments or these jokes to comfort a child after you, because at the end of the day, I think we all know they're called dad jokes because that's what a dad joke is for. It's to be so goofy and so stupid and so corny that you can't help but laugh. You hate laughing, but you can't help but laugh because they're used in those moments, whether it's tense between a parent and a child, or the child is going through something that's really heavy and a dad wants to lighten the situation. You pull out one of these goofy, stupid jokes. And I have to say, chef's kiss, Mr. Alvarez, for the level of dad jokes
that they used.
They were so good at being so bad. And that's what a dad joke is. A dad joke isn't funny, clever. A dad joke isn't even funny, silly. A dad joke is funny, stupid. Mm-hmm. Like, literally, the reaction a dad wants from one of those is, I'm mad that I'm laughing. But I can't help but fucking laugh.
And he had some of the big ones too, like the he's all right.
Oh,
he did a bunch of the like the big like I don't remember but the punchline that we've all heard is, well, he's all right. He lost his whatever. Did you ever hear about the guy who lost his whatever? He's all right. Like he did a bunch of those too. Like when they're sitting there, I think they're gonna die. And then,
why don't the aliens eat clowns? Because they taste funny.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
One of those, at that moment, though, that's when she has the light bulb, right? So what joke does he tell? Because he tells
it's a
joke.
Gravity joke.
Yeah, and it makes her realize that
I'll be honest, that was endearing. And I hate to admit this because you say dad joke days, and sometimes they're so, my eyes, I pull muscles in my eyes, roll my eyes. But that moment where the aliens are coming up and they thought they're going to die, and he's just telling dad joke after dad joke, and she's answering. I was like, man,
this is all he knows to do.
Yeah. I was like, this is a sad, beautiful moment. And I would have enjoyed that moment more if then I didn't have this little tickle in the back of my brain that went, oh, fuck, now I'm stuck with that pregnant lady who slept half the movie. Because I'm like, that's the final one. That one? And that kind of pulled me out, which to your point, if they would have took time to build the characters up to make me care more, that moment I think would have hit me harder because it was starting to. I was like, this is actually kind of sad and beautiful. And I even had
I wish I knew her.
Yeah. I was like, I even had a thought in my brain. I'm like, well, fuck, if Dave and I are ever stuck in a mining ship and aliens come and he'd do the same fucking thing. And then and I was like, I was starting to feel it. I was almost there. And I was like, oh, fuck, now I'm stuck with that sleepy pregnant lady. Oh, God. This movie getting worse.
Yeah, she had no character development whatsoever for her to go till that part of the movie. The moment she says she's pregnant, you're like, well, she's fucked. And not just because she's pregnant. In some way or another, an alien.
It's not going to well.
It's never. And then when they red herringly killed her, I was like, oh, that's all we used her for. Then she was still alive. I said, oh, okay, now we're back. We're back here. She is going to be a problem.
Now the big scene must happen. Yeah.
Know her. I don't know her name. I knew she was the sister of one of them, and I couldn't tell you anything else about her because that's literally as much as we saw her in this movie. And then to give us this big bad at the end, just want to call him. I mean, whatever, because he's the last.
Well, it's even her brother. There's moments in the movie where you're kind of oh, he's not bad, but
the pregnant one's brother, right?
Yeah,
the boyfriend. I think there's a romantic relationship.
90% of the time, he is so fucking vanilla.
Yeah,
and
he's not
plain that you're just and kind of useless. You're just okay.
Yeah,
he's a plank.
Yeah,
and then there's the plank that I couldn't even understand. The cousin, whatever that dude was. Holy shit!
The high strung one.
I've told you guys so many times in this that at this point I'm too old. When someone has an accent, I need subtitles. And the first thing I said when this movie started was fuck, I literally need the app that tells me what these people are saying, because I was like losing it. I was just like losing it. And like, luckily, spoiler alert, he doesn't make it very far. I mean, he makes it whatever, but he's not a survivor, so we're good. But like, I actually thought the cast I was a little anxious because the cast to me was too small for me to have too many fun alien. You know what I'm trying to say? Like in some of them, and I get it. In the first one, we don't have a huge cast. And the second one, we get a decent amount of people, so we could lose a decent amount of people, and I appreciate that. But like this one, I was a little nervous going in because like we see our crew like straight up. It's going to be these 5 kids or whoever. I just pulled that number. It could be 6. I don't remember, but it's like something like that. And that's going to be our cast. And I'm just like, oh my God.
That's all the deaths you could possibly have.
This is as many as we could have. And she's going to, listen, one thing we can say about every single alien movie is that it's a heroine. There's the final, there's a woman standing. There will be
a Ripley.
Yeah.
She is our hero. She is our, she's not our like, people use final girl in different ways. She's not a final girl. She is our warrior. She's going to survive. Like that's the one that's going to get us through this. So we know from point one that Rain is our Ripley. Just like we know it's Elizabeth Shaw, and I'm just pointing out my butt that like, because it's Ripley for the first fucking 4 or whatever.
Right.
But then like, but so she has to live, and like Andy, you're like, as much as we all love him, he is a synthetic, so it could go either way. Like, and not saying that I don't care, but we've seen them go. Most of the time, they die or whatever, like because they sacrifice or they do whatever.
Yeah, it's some grand sacrifice usually.
Yeah, so I was like, well, he probably won't, like so, but whatever. So like now we're down to 4 people that we can kill in this movie or something, and I'm like, oh,
right, and even so much so, like even like when you think the pregnant lady saved, which I mean we all know she wasn't, but like even like she has that it's kind of like, well the thing is too, like you don't actually like see, like they kind of kill her off screen because like so she has that like super soaker birth and then like you're like, okay, that probably killed her, and then like they come back and she's like, yo, give me like I'm got tar coming out my boobs.
Oh, when she's crawling.
And then like even like when they walk in on her like getting boob drank to death, she like
it's called nurse.
Breastfeeding.
Listen, I like my terminology better, okay? And then you see like even when he like connects his tube from her boob, she's still like looking at her like rolling her eyes like, oh, I don't know. And then he like just drops her, and then like you never see her again, and then like at the end she's like, I'm the last survivor. You're like, oh, okay, so I guess it even seemed like he gave a fuck about her because they're like, she'll just die for you. She got boob drank to death.
So go ahead.
No, I just realized my statement was going to make no sense. So go.
So I did want to ask this question because it's something that I know is important to both of you. And this movie specifically made some promises in the marketing that this was going to be the most violent alien. It was going to be the most gory alien you've seen. So my question is, did it meet your gorge expectations?
I did not see that,
no.
But it did not meet my Fede Alvarez expectations.
No.
But
which if Fede Alvarez is going to do an alien movie, that should be part of the sell.
100%.
Yes. But what I think it met alien expectations. Although as I was rewatching 3, maybe one of them is gorier than I remembered it being, just for funsy purposes, but it still is shit for the graphics and whatever else. But I think it's 3. Again, I watched them all in like a 3. I think was like gorier than.
It's got some violence.
Yeah, so I think it was. I mean, we got the guy in the fan. We got like some silly shit that happens.
Right.
But it did not live up to my Fede Alvarez hype in my head, but it wasn't like it was off for an alien movie. I want to say that. Like, I think it, as far as alien movies, it's not like it was subdued or anything like that. But no, I was waiting for like a buckets of blood moment, even from him. And I understand that it might not even fit in an alien movie, but I really wanted
you got buckets of alien blood.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted more. I wanted more.
Yeah, for sure. Because like even like the like honestly the kills involving the regular xenomorphs were like, now I will say this, the chest burster scene in this one was really good. Like I did like that, but like the actual 2 deaths by xenomorphs.
Yeah, it's not
like 2 of them, or only 2 deaths by xenomorphs. One was a plain one with a tail. The other one was a plain one with the little mini
the mouth
like,
thing that they
just, I like once again, like you saw more aliens in this. They looked like aliens, whatever. It's good, but like he just underutilized them, like to the point where like you had a bunch of them, but like didn't really fucking matter. And even like there's that scene with the elevator where like they kind of make a big deal that first one survived and it's got electric stuck in its brain. But like even that one didn't like I was like, oh, that's gonna be the stalker, or that's the one that's gonna be the trouble, and like
that's gonna end up
it didn't fucking matter. Like it was like so like it was kind of if I'm gonna like if I'm watching an alien movie, like I'm not saying like they have to be the final bad. I'm not saying you can't bring in a different alien or whatever, but like don't basically use the alien as like a scene filler, and like that's what the full-grown xenomorphs felt in this. It's just filler,
and they're my favorite. We know that. I find them adorable.
For sure.
We've said this many times on this thing. I fucking love them. I have toys behind me of them. I don't know why they're the cutest things. I know they look like penises. I guess I have a thing for cute penises.
For sure.
But like the thing is like, yeah, I agree. Kind of. I think it took way too long for me to see them in this movie. I was getting very upset. I appreciate again. This is the first one to give us anything with the face. We get the exact same scene in every movie. This one tried to give us literally like their own moment, like which they've never really had. We had a lot of them. We had that scene that I was very torn on, which we didn't discuss yet, if it was stupid or smart, where they have to walk through them. So like there's a scene in this where like they need to get to another room. It very much looks like a video game. They need to get to another room, but the room that they have to cross through is filled with these fucking facehuggers.
They're blind, but they're sound and smell.
Yeah, now we get that. We get the explanation that like they and then the heat, like if they're heat set, so they heat seek, and so like we're gonna get the room to the human body temperature and all this nonsense, which like is stealth, which is Jamie's least favorite thing in video games. And like so,
Jamie, it looked like a scene from a video game because it was
from the video game. I haven't
taken from. The stealth-based alien game.
That's what I hated. So I played that one and I could not stand it because again, the statement that Jamie just made about stealth in video games, I got way too antsy in that game and I kept popping out of the vents when the alien was too close. I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I can't fucking hop in these vents. But like, this is not a game to me. So anyway, but it felt like a video game because it's out of the video game. Apparently, great. That's great. That's cute. That's adorable. But I was just torn on this scene about us like walking through landmines of facehuggers versus like, but again, like they had their moment which they have never had before as far as I'm concerned, and I just rewatched them all, but like there wasn't enough xenomorph moments. I agree. And for them having so many xenomorphs on this ship, like, okay, the first alien only has one, so we work with what we got and it's menacing, whatever. And then the second one, we know we have more, which is why a lot of people, not everybody, but me and some friends also like the second one more than we liked the first one.
Right.
The more, the better. I didn't realize. I always thought the third one had a bunch of them. It only has that one fucking dog one the whole time, and he sucks. So,
well, then you got the one at the end.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I fell asleep by the end of the rewatching because I gave up on this fucking CGI dog one was driving me up a wall. So I was just,
but I don't know. Like I appreciate the face. Like that was kind of cool, but like I said, just if you're gonna do aliens, like don't make them.
And like I said, with Alvarez doing one, you have expectations. And then the marketing specifically focused on all of the interviews with the cast saying, like, I barely got through the scene. It was so gross. It was so nasty and all of that kind of stuff. That punches it up. Now, I will say the movie does pay off some really cool Alvarez-style body horror, like the whole facehugger and pulling it out and all of that. I mean, there's some visceral moments, but they're not kills. And they're not even necessarily violent. Like but they're just body horror movements. I do agree that the most violent kill was the chest burster moment, but
for sure,
because you're literally seeing the chest being ripped apart by the alien. But then it runs off and you go straight to vagina scene. So you don't even kind of have the gravity of that moment. It's the pace of Aliens, which doesn't give you the moment to have the dinner scene of the original movie of the chest burster come out and the whole room just going silent because they don't know what the fuck is happening at this moment. It jumps too much, and they're not kills. It's not even really violence. It's just body horror, like the whole him freezing his hand and losing a couple of fingers, and then
but even that
the nursing scene.
Like that I thought we were going to see some cool stuff with that freezing thing, but like that really like, because like it mattered for all of 3 seconds. And then it was just like, don't matter. I don't need those fingers anyways.
Now we just need Andy.
Yeah. And then, like, even the acid, like when the acid drip was dripping on him, like even that was just like, it wasn't as grotesque. I was like, this is gonna be a cool.
Oh yeah, like a gross.
Like, but like it wasn't. Like
it just ate his heart. He just stopped moving.
They were a little subdued for him, and it's funny because I just read. I wasn't reading something. It was like, what was it? Was it a tweet? It was something. Yeah, Fede Alvarez, I think, retweeted because he's first of all, he's having his moment. I love it. Like, you know what I mean? I love it because I don't think Evil Dead had that moment. Like, a lot of us did appreciate it, but it didn't have this moment where he is like the number one movie of the weekend. Yeah. Like, he's like having his moment.
And he took it on the chin for the Texas Chainsaw. I mean, he got beat down by that.
Yeah. So he's having his moment. More power to him. So he retweeted. It was him. He retweeted something that said, it was like another tweet that said something like, a woman in my theater literally projectile vomited during that scene. And I had to sit here, guys. I'm sitting here. I had just seen this movie. 2 days? Or we're like recording this right at, and I was just, what the fuck scene? Like, you see
what
something,
scene?
I know I bring it up too much, but you see something like Terrifier and you know what that scene is when people are saying people are throwing up. I don't believe in throwing up in the theater. I mean, I know it must happen to people, but like, I wonder why those people go to see horror, I guess is my point. Like, I think if you're a horror fan, you don't throw up at horror. Like, you're kind of just like, so, when that whole shit came out about Terrifier, not only did I not believe most of it, but I know I know what that scene is in Terrifier 2. I know what we're fucking talking about. But like, this one, I sat there going, what is that? It had to be the nursing scene, right? Like, it had to be the birth, because I'm sitting there and I'm going, what is that scene in this movie that you would say that? And I'm just like, and I get it. Fede's all excited. He's retweeting. And I'm just like, what the fuck scene are we making such a big deal about? Like, I just saw this movie and I couldn't tell you what scene that's supposed to be.
Nothing impacted you at that level.
I guess it's the birth and the maybe like nursing her to death. But like it had to be, right? Because we just went through the deaths and nothing else is like I don't know. And maybe if you've never seen an alien, I guess. But like, I was just like,
well, I saw that. I was thinking it. The only two that I could think of that, or maybe three potentially, that I could think of that might is like either that chest burster scene, because like it was like, it wasn't like like they normally are.
Yeah.
But like, it was like watching her like ribs pop out and like tear through the skin. Or the acid, because like they showed it kind of like burning through his arms and like hands, like maybe like you saw some bone.
I think it had to be the birth.
Or like there was that split second when like the mouth goes into boyfriend's head, and, like you see like part of his face collapsing. For like a brief second, but like,
so
even
fast.
that, it is, and like even that, the CG is not that great because it's just like a red blotch. Like, it's not bloody really. It's just like this, like it, like I remember like when it happened, like I was like, and up close, and like you showed like they're gonna show it going in finally instead of cutting away, and then just like, and there's just like a red like thing on his face. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the end simply because then you had the people saying that thing was a thing of nightmare. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm just off. Like, people thought he was grotesque. I mean, granted, he comes out as a baby, so it's not like he comes out like this fully figured fucking weirdo thing. But I'm just saying, I'm just going to go with the end must be what they're talking about, because like the end, you know what I mean? The birth, the whole thing, like the birth to him killing her, to him, because like I was just like, but I still found it funny that we like, even in a movie like this where we just all discussed how it doesn't live up to like that hype of the gore, that people are still calling a that scene. Like, we need to stop with that kind of shit. Like, you want to see a that scene, go see a hardcore horror movie and tell me about a that scene. Like,
and that's what I would think if somebody had that reaction, and I don't have any reason to doubt somebody could have gotten that sick or upset. They're probably an Aliens fan that came to see this movie. They weren't an Alien fan. They may have been an Alien sci-fi action fan that then saw this. They might have been upset seeing somebody birth an egg and then get ripped apart by the baby.
This fits in that universe. Like, the gore, everything here kind of, like I said, I blasted through most of them. Some are more gory than others, but you get it in all of them. I mean, literally rewatching them too. One of the most disgusting things to me, and it's silly, and again, because of what we watch and who we are and who I am or whatever, and it's no secret, the gorier the movie, the more Jamie is about it. I find it more gross, like especially in like, let's just say Aliens. I find it more gross when the synthetics are ripped apart. That fucking milky and weird fucking intestines they give them makes me want to vomit. I don't know what it is.
Because you know they had that stuff in their mouth, and it's probably
it's so goddamn gross, and it's like it's all white, and it's just like these tubes and like things that look
looks like a melted McDonald's milkshake.
Yeah. And the worst one is still the original. When you see ash in it, and it's like dried on his face, it's like caked and flaking and cracking. That like yogurt, dried yogurt all over his face.
It's just when Bishop's ripped in half at like the end, and he's just like I just like. And then so since I was rewatching all, then there's the one where she like briefly brings him back in 3, and he's like fucking just like it's like an arm and like
half the face, So I've just got a couple of more questions here, and I know we're getting close on time, or we're over on time, but who cares? It's a new movie. Cares? There's a lot to talk about.
We do what we want, Dave.
But exactly. But I hope this for Fede as a director and filmmaker, because he's obviously been typecast into this route. But I genuinely believe he needs to either take a break or stop completely doing remake movies.
Yeah.
Because to your point earlier, the Don't Breathe, which was a completely original idea, still has that scene. To your point earlier, that movie has that scene.
Yeah. Yep. And I never saw the second one, but I assume it's not terrible. I don't know.
But I know he kind of made his name, and he probably got so much praise for what he did with Evil Dead that he went down this path of, I'm going to be the guy who remakes really great classic horror movies. I think it's time to go back and either partner with somebody who's really a skilled original storyteller, or make one yourself. But I don't want to see, I personally, and that's, I guess the question I'm giving to y'all is, I don't know that I want to see another Fede Alvarez remake of a classic horror movie that means a lot to me. No, I don't need that from him.
I don't think so either. I think I'm ready to see him do something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Or if he's going to do this, I wish he would lean more into what he did with Evil Dead, where it's, I'm in this universe, but it's a different story, or I'm telling the story differently, where like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like he went the opposite direction of, I have Leatherface, and like that's it, and
I'm going to do what I want with him,
and like which didn't work, and then like where this, he leaned so hard into it that like if I'm being, and like there was a couple like we said, like moments of his touch, but like honestly, like if it wasn't for like those 2 moments, if you could have told me any director did this, I'd go, okay.
Yeah, fair. Mm-hmm.
So like if he's gonna do that, but it just came out that like he's interested in doing Aliens versus Predator.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but so I was never into those really, because I'm always on the side of the alien, and they're treated like vermin in those movies, and I like don't appreciate it because I hate fucking predators and I love the aliens, so I already have a like a biased opinion on them. But anyway, because I also watched like one of those this week. I don't know, but yeah, Dave, to your point, I think I'm ready for him to do something himself again, preferably gory. But I don't know, and I think the only reason I'm not super into remakes, I think the reason I was hyped for this though is because we know Alien's not going to die. So if that's the point, I was excited to see what Fede's going to do with it. Because like if it was any other director, I'm not even sure I would have. I mean, we covered it, but I also even remember when it came out. I remember saying to you guys like, "This comes out while we're covering. Like let's like I was hyped because like he's behind it. Would I have been so hyped if it wasn't him behind it? I've seen it. I absolutely have seen it. I've seen them all. But like, yeah, I think his name on this added the hype for me, but it's not that I need to see him redo things, if that makes sense. I'm just like, this is going to get redone. So I'm glad it's tied to someone I actually like, and I'm excited to see what he will do with it. But no, I don't need Fede Alvarez to be my remake director. Like I would like to see him do something. It just happens to be that the one that he did that's a remake is one of my all-time favorite movies. But there's no other properties I really even would say, like, let's see him do. He doesn't need to do any of these other ones, really. Like,
no, like, obviously he seems to enjoy it, but like, if we're gonna keep going down this road, like, there's so, like, a lot of this stuff he picks, there's like except for Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's the big stuff. I mean, it's the big
there's right, and like, there's so much in the universe. There's so many other stories to tell, and I don't want him to pigeonhole if he's like, oh, I'm back at it now, like I'm in the I'm in the good graces again. So, like, this is how I have to.
Now I'm going to do a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, and it's going to basically be the same thing as, like, the other ones. And then, like, now I'll do Halloween and it'll be like, no, like, I like Evil, even with my problem, I liked Evil Dead because, like, it was Evil Dead, but it wasn't the Evil Dead. Like, it was his own kind of story.
You know what I wish he did, and we're not going to even talk about this movie because this is the time or the place. We're not going to go into the movie, but I just, for an example, because if it was him, not remaking it, I would have liked to have seen him do, because I didn't care for it, that In a Violent Nature movie.
Oh, like, yeah.
Okay.
I think he would have done a better job if someone came to him with that. Is all I guess.
100%.
I think that is a Fede Alvarez project right there. Yeah. That's original, but still in his wheelhouse to even start, maybe. Although don't bring
with ultra violent, gory.
Yeah.
But I think, like, I didn't. I mean, no problem saying I did not care for that movie, but I think he would have done that movie better. Like, we gave him something like that, or like, you know, I don't know.
To your point, Jamie.
I don't know.
Yeah. To your point, before the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, I used to say that I'd like to see him do a Phantasm remake, because I think Phantasm could do with a modern, more gore, better effects, like, remake. I think like it would be people like, I mean, have either one of you seen Phantasm?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. That's the one. It's like the Tall Man, the Undertaker,
the Tall Man, and the Orb.
Yeah. Like, I think like a violent, like how he did Evil Dead, that type of treatment with Phantasm could be really good. But then after, like, you see what he does with some of these IPs, like, it's it's either like real hot or real cold. It's like, well, okay.
The other thing is,
I thought.
Sorry, I was just going to say, like, I was just going to ride off the, like, I keep comparing Evil Dead because of the gore, blah, 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 but it's important to know that Don't Breathe is just a thriller. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even like it's fine. I mean, sorry, Dave.
No, I was just going to say, the one that is a big franchise that I think he could do a really compelling version of is, I would 100% see in a Fede Alvarez Hellraiser. Because it would be violent and body horror, and it would be nasty. It would be like,
I'd be excited there.
It would be like Evil Dead on steroids. Because can you imagine a Cenobite designed by Fede Alvarez? It would be just the most.
Now you have me just wanting. But you know what's a good point about that too, though, Dave? That's the exact same scenario, at least for me. That's something that's not going to die. People are going to keep trying to do it, so you might as well give it to someone that might do a kick-ass job.
Who's going to do practical effects. The makeup's going to be amazing, and it's going to be nasty.
Now I want to.
Sure. All right, Fede, call us. We'll start working up a treatment. We're going to make this happen because we know you're going to knock it out of the park, and it's going to be hateful and awful. And we're going to have David Howard Thornton as a Cenobite in your movie.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, Jamie, we'll have to have you in there because we'll tell them, like, the deal is whenever the Wicked Wild does a movie, Jamie has to play at least 6 parts. Well, at least 6 parts.
Jamie is just dying to be an extra in a movie that gets fucking blood, like, ripped apart, like, bloody.
Yeah, you just want the death.
That's all I'm dying for. I'm like,
you want to be that scene.
Item. Yeah, the bucket list item is just to be that. I don't need to be Terrifier hacksaw naked level. I just need, like, I need to be the character that just, like, gets completely eviscerated, just covered, just has to lay there covered, like, head to toe, like.
With a smile on your face.
Yeah, it's just whatever.
So you would take a Cenobite torture death. You'd be happy to have that torture death.
Yeah.
I'd say it depends what Cenobite. Like, some of them I'm like, hey, Pinhead pull me apart with hooks.
Yeah, I was about to say Pinhead, yeah.
Sure. Some of the other ones that they've introduced in some of those movies, I don't know.
No, my favorite's always still the Chatterer guy. So,
yeah.
Yeah, him.
Jabberjaws.
Yeah, whatever is there. I don't know. He's the creepiest fucking one. That's like it. Are we wait, Dave, you might have had another question, but are we gonna rank the alien movies best we can in the shortest
time? That is my last question.
Oh.
I want and I, not even to do the 7, but I am interested in each of yours top 3 to 5.
Okay.
Because I think that lets a lot of the garbage fall out without us having discussed it. But what are your we'll call it the 5. Of the 7 actual alien movies, what are your 5 ranked?
Who wants to go?
You go first, Jamie.
Me? Okay.
Yeah,
so
you go
2,
first.
Aliens.
Okay.
Alien.
Okay.
I think we're all gonna have a very easy 1 and 2. Whatever order, and I know your order too, so I'm saying, but like whatever order, it's 2 of 1. Now it gets fucking muddy because I thought so. I'm not gonna spend forever talking about this, but I thought I really liked Covenant. And then I rewatched, I thought I had a fun time with it in theaters. And then I rewatched it recently and I was like, that's the movie I thought it was. Because I was going to going into this, I thought it was going to be before seeing this, I thought it was going to be 2-1, Covenant. And then who really cares after that? Honestly, you only need the top 3 or 4. But, so anyway, so now I think after rewatching them all, I feel bad about all the hate I gave Resurrection because I think Resurrection's above 3. I think 3. Prometheus is boring and it doesn't feel like an alien movie to me. So I have a hard time with that, but I don't think it's a terrible movie. I just think it's not for me. I think it's a sci-fi drama and it
still has the Ridley Scott quality.
And it does. Yeah. I just don't think it's mine. So but I think 3 is terrible. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's very hard because I don't want, so let's just go 2, 1. This one, I think 2-1.
Romulus.
I have to see this a few more times. Romulus, Covenant, Resurrection, or Prometheus. I can't in good nature. I just rewatched 3. 3 is fucking is garbage. I'm sorry. I can tell you the worst one. It's fucking 3. So somewhere something like that. You can make up whatever you want. I think I'm putting this new one up in the top. But the problem is
it breaks into the
a great series. It's when you think of it as a whole, it's got an amazing start. And then they're all just mid-level, which I think is fine. But they're all kind of just there. I just want to see whatever gave me the most xenomorphs, that was in my top. You know what I mean? It just goes level of xenomorphs down.
Fair enough. All right, Eli.
Alien, Aliens, Resurrection, 3, and Alien versus Predator Requiem.
No, that's not fair. We didn't put the Predator ones in there.
I have to because I like Prometheus if it wasn't an alien movie.
Exactly. That's what I was just saying. It's not an alien to me. It is, but right. It's hard. It's not.
Covenant, I probably would have liked more if it didn't feel like it was just made to jam aliens in it because people were mad there wasn't aliens in Prometheus.
That's what it feels a little bit.
As much as I liked when I was young the fight between Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator 1, I didn't like the Avengers style team up at the end. And the fact that I'm supposed to believe their acid melts through floors, but it didn't burn this lady's cheek off. And
that's the one I just watched. I watched the end of that one and then the beginning of the other one or whatever. Yeah. But the team up is where it's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
In fact, I mean, that's just films. If I was doing the franchise as a whole,
oh god,
probably only the first 2 movies are making it my top 5.
And then it's other stuff.
That is video games and comics and the rest. But
yeah. Damn. So for me, it is Alien, Aliens. And then it is probably this.
It gets hard.
Yeah, it's Alien. Aliens is easy. Then it probably is this, then Covenant, then Alien 3. And I'll tell you this.
Alien and I are almost the same.
Yeah. Alien 3 would probably be my 3rd one if I hadn't just watched it. And it's so hard to get away from the effects in that movie. If like this, it had done what Alien and Aliens done and stayed with practical effects. I like the David Fincher of Alien 3.
I like it a lot.
It's compelling, but I'm not going to watch it probably ever again just because
it's hard.
The effects are so distracting. It's like the Rook stuff in this for all of the aliens.
Yeah, it's
and the dog alien is a badass concept in my opinion.
For sure.
Being a dog lover and seeing that giant Rottweiler, excuse me, and then going, oh shit, we have a xenomorph Rottweiler on this prison camp now. Game on. But then then it's just the effects fall apart.
Oh, it's really bad.
Yeah,
when I was rewatching it, I actually thought it was going to bump up because the fan scene, like it goes for gore. That one goes for gore, and it's going to be my alien. I didn't realize
it's dark
not
and grimy.
More than aliens and whatever. But I thought it was gonna. I was like, I was ready to make number 3. I was ready to go 2, 1, 3, and then like figure it out. But like the moment that alien shows up, like unfortunately,
it breaks your heart.
Yeah, most of them when the alien shows up, you're like, fuck, now this is great. It's about to get great. The moment the alien shows up in the prison one, it's just like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like it's a fucking joke.
But I will say that's probably my favorite Ripley in the series.
Oh, for sure.
She's full badass in this movie. I mean,
in that one. Yeah,
she'll give a fuck.
Resurrection, she's annoying, I feel like.
Yeah, she is. She's literally the Madonna figure in that movie. Yeah. She's the Mary figure. But in the Aliens 3, it's like, oh no, a woman is stuck on a prison planet with a bunch of guys. Oh wait, the prison guys are stuck on a planet with Ripley.
Yeah. She's like full Rorschach from...
Although they do get her in that one scene, and then the guy has to come in.
And
then she punches one guy.
Yeah,
she makes him pay for it.
Yeah,
if you're adding up tallies, that's like 90 Ripley, 1 them guys. Like, you know,
I know.
He was like John Wicken in that prison and didn't have a gun.
Yeah.
Just whooping ass and taking names.
Yeah.
That was
she was not having a morality moment about it. She's like, no, fuck all y'all.
Mm-hmm. Now,
it's just an interesting franchise because of like what we always said. We have a hard time. We all get through 1 and 2, and then we're just like,
Well, Jamie, this is not the only aliens we're getting this year.
Yeah, no, the TV show. They just dropped it. So apparently some people got that trailer before the movie. I didn't. I did not.
Yeah.
Did you? Did you get the series trailer? I didn't get it.
It's not
in the theater.
It's not the full trailer.
But it's something. I don't think
FX is doing it.
Yeah.
And like all it is you're like real close in the like the shiny black thing, and you see like a image of the Earth on it. And then it zooms out and it's like the Earth image on an alien's head. And it does that standard FX, like American Horror Story, where it goes, it's like that thing. And then that's all you get. But it comes out this fall. So it's just kind of crazy that there's not a trailer out there for it yet. And that's what
I know. It's because it's coming out so soon. I forgot one thing that they didn't do in this movie. It's very quick, but it's like it's like maybe my favorite gimmick. Let's say a gimmick. So like something that you expect to show up, like the whole blowing them out of the ship, or that it's never going to be the last alien. You're going to have one more alien, My favorite gimmick. Now they did it in different ways, but I legit, because it's in most of them, because my favorite gimmick is when he comes out of like the mechanical ceiling behind you because he fits in so well. And they did not, I almost cried. Like he was behind them at times. But my favorite gimmick is Alien is when an alien comes down from the fucking ceiling because he blends in so well. It gets you every time, even if it's giddy, even if it's like because he like
knowing that he's right there.
And he just and he like descends in whatever, whether it's tail first, legs first. They've done it all different. And this one I'm waiting for it. And I was like, of all the things Fede like did in different ways, like he didn't do that. And I was I was heartbroken because I was like waiting for that moment.
Yeah, he had the boyfriend picked up by the tail, but we never saw it blending in.
Like I like he, that's in like all of them in different ways, and like I don't know. I just got.
It's the same thing with the drool, because like I was like that drool thing.
Oh yeah, the drool thing.
And like I thought we were about to get it when he was like hovering over the girl under the cage, like you normally get when that scene happens, and then he just like was like, I don't have to drool right now. Like that's when you see him like skitter like you ever see that those TikToks where like the cat picks up like a loaf of bread and like managed to run on its back legs. Like that's what it looked like. It ran up in there. I was like, okay, no drool. Like he went in that little hole. Like, all right.
But don't worry, everybody. If you're like me, the xenomorphs are still cute. They're not CGI, so they don't look like crap. And so, besides the thing at the end,
Yeah.
It's not cute.
It literally looks like the Aldi's brand pumpkin head. It like had the same shoulders and everything.
Again, like as soon as it's like streaming, just to see like being at home if I still feel like the same way about it.
Oh, like I said, it's in my top 5. I'm going to own it when it comes out. I'm going to own it. I mean, because I can see myself watching this one more because, like I said, that the central relationship was compelling. I liked those characters. Everybody else was dumb, or like I said. Honestly, they were cardboard cutouts, but I did like the concept, and this movie is just freaking gorgeous. I'll just rewatch this one just to be in these set pieces because they're just gorgeous. Yeah. Anyway, we've talked 2 hours about this. Yes.
You know what? We do that though when it's a new movie. I found
exactly.
Because other than things we've seen a bunch of times or whatever, like when it's a new movie, that's our longest episode.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's what I love about doing a new movie every once in a while, because the reason that, in my opinion, the reason we talk so much more about it is because we haven't had the conversation 20 different times about a movie. This is the first time we're really getting to talk about the movie. We're excited to talk about all the different stuff about it.
I talked about it for 5 minutes in the car ride home because that's how far I am from the movie theater. You know what I mean? When my friend just shot me off, like that's it.
I called Mary because she couldn't come with me, and she was like, "Oh, did you eat your bucket?" I went, "I don't want to talk about it." She was like, "What did you think of the movie?" I was like, "I don't want to talk about it."
Well, we know that Mary was like, "Oh shit, Eli's going to come home in a bad mood. He's going to sulk all day."
She kept saying, she was like, "Why don't you go see it?" I'm like, "Cause the popcorn bucket."
I gotta get me.
I should have known.
It's still in theaters, Eli, and like I said, send me $50 and I will hook you up, brother.
Does it come with?
I had this inside track, a guy in the theater who said he could slide a case aside for me, and he gave it to me at his cost. He just shipped it on to me.
Well, I already texted the guy that brought it in. I said, just fair warning, if you use that again in the store, I was like, I will kick it out of your hands into the trash.
I will say one thing, because we do have to end. Dave just said we talked for way too long, but I have a mini vent because I'm going through it right now on a different level. So I feel your pain with the popcorn bucket. And I know this has always existed, but in 2024, with internet and everything like that, this collection community has gotten out of fucking control. So what I mean is, I'm sorry, everybody knows it, but Terrifier for some reason has become a commodity that people like me who have loved this movie, I am not gatekeeping. I am just saying I have loved this movie since the first one came out. I used to buy
every little
piece of. Do you know how hard it was for me to get these fucking Funko Pops? And do you know that I can't get the sunflower sunglasses because people bought cases of them and are selling them on fucking eBay? Come on, man. We're talking about an indie horror movie that it's not so much indie anymore. But you know what I'm trying to say? It was a thing that was easy to get because nobody gave a shit. And and I just want to have one as a fan. I don't even collect pop figures.
You're not going to keep it in the case as a collector.
No, I just want to take him out and put him on my fucking shelf because he's art. And the fucking what I've had to go through just to get the regular ones, which I do have my hands now on 2 of the original 3. But
the clean and the bloody.
I have the bloody and the on the tricycle. I didn't really get the clean yet with the knife because I figured he'd be the easiest one to get. But the sunflower one, you have no chance. I literally had the notification and I went to it as soon as it said it was for sale and it said sold out. Yeah. And I was just like,
Jamie, I feel your pain.
The popcorn bucket. Yeah, this is out of fucking control with these people. Buying a fucking case of popcorn buckets that you could sell them on eBay for $100-some has got to be stopped. This is out of fucking control.
It's a menace.
It happened with the Terrifier movie poster too. I saw the movie. I went again to see the movie to get a free goddamn cheap poster. Yeah. And they didn't have them and people were selling them for fucking $50 for a cheap fucking teaser poster that's this big. My sister's friend sent me one because he had one, which was very nice of him. And thank you, whoever he was. But come on. I literally bought the ticket, went to see the movie again. Went to get what I was due for seeing, and I couldn't even fucking get the free fucking poster. Because
you know what's worse is when you think you have one, you call, and they're like, "I'll set one aside for you," and you're like, "Great," and you get there.
Maybe humanity isn't a pile of trash. You were starting to get hope again that humanity.
I was. Listen, I have not. Like I said, I got up to get a haircut first, so I was like, I want to make sure they know I'm not a bum. I'm gonna buy this bucket. I'm going to put my nerd gummies clusters in it. And they'll know. And instead, They had none. I sat in the theater alone,
holding a bag like a chump.
Honestly, yeah. Wait a minute. Eli's. I know we said this, but and we'll stop. But like his opinion on it is skewed because he went in so goddamn angry with no popcorn bucket that like.
I didn't even want popcorn in it, Jamie. I didn't even want the popcorn in it.
We can't even count his
We're not going to blame this movie.
Like when you're home and you have your popcorn bucket and this comes on streaming and you have your nerd gummies in your popcorn bucket and you're sitting on your couch comfortably, I want to hear how you feel.
Well, I'm going to be watching again because like I said, Mary couldn't go with me and she really wants to watch it.
So, yeah.
And you still need the bucket.
Well, who knows if I even get at this point. Okay.
He's just given up on the hope of having the bucket.
Because like if you order it online through their website, they say it takes 3 to 6 months to be delivered. Yeah, it takes 3 to 6 months to be delivered.
But you would have it.
Then you would have it.
Yeah, but who knows what kind of shape it's going to come in 3 to 6 months. Do you look at it? I could be dead in 3 to 6 months.
Now you're just being picky. Now you're just being picky. Okay.
You know what? I refuse. I was done wrong. I'm going to leave a Google review. They will know my name.
Point, I would take the fucking art with sunglasses in 3 to 6 months. I don't give a shit. And it was normal price and I could just get it.
You know what? If you're making fun of me, Jamie, I'm going to make it a point to find that sumbitch. And every time we record, I'm going to hold him up just like this and go, what's this? Oh. No, I'd mail it to you with their homemade gummy cluster.
So we do have a Dave's Critter Corner because when we did the original Alien movie, we weren't doing the segment yet. So we got to talk xenomorphs real quick. And I just wanted to find some fun. Probably most people have a general concept of the biology and the sort of the history, the canon of the creature. But I did find what I thought were some fun little factoids. And they may not be biological. We know it's not a real creature, but the design and how it came about and all that.
I'm excited for this because I like all this
fun little
xenomorph stuff.
So maybe this will be for the xenomorph. Maybe it's more of a Dave's Did You Know?
Oh.
So the idea of the acid blood came from Ron Cobb, who was the effects designer for some of our favorite movies, Star Wars, Total Recall, Conan the Did I almost call him the librarian? Conan the Barbarian. So it was his idea as a throwaway suggestion because Ridley Scott was asking the question. He was dealing with this problem of why don't they just grab a gun and shoot the damn thing? And he's like, well, it's got acid blood, like as a throwaway. And Ridley Scott was so inspired by that whole thing came out of that, which is, and you have to admit, it is friggin' brilliant because you're on a Why wouldn't you just destroy the thing and be done with it? I mean, it's a bug at the end of the day, but the bug has acid blood that then's going to kill you all. So it is a brilliant plot device. But yeah, it came from old Ron Cobb. 2 major ingredients, fun fact that you'll love, I'm sure. There are 2 major ingredients to the creepy look of the original xenomorph, and those ingredients are KY jelly, all of the slime and drippiness, that's KY jelly. And condoms were used for the tendons in the puncture.
Guys, wait. Not only is the design based on a penis, which I hope you're getting to, but it's literally made with things that are supposed to be on a penis. I cannot. Yep. My mind is blown right now.
Did you know? Dave had some fun facts. I thought that was hilarious, though.
That's amazing.
About the phallicness of the xenomorph. To know that. I mean, first, H.R. Geiger, of course it's going to be phallic, but even in the practical design of the creature, they couldn't get away from the whole penis of it all.
I think they missed a branding opportunity. They could have had Trojan as a producer of this movie.
Maybe they did. Who knows at this point? Or maybe a future sponsorship is on the way for the TV show. That would be hilarious in the TV series if all the commercials were like
Trojan.
Oh my God, with Trojan and I do appreciate that we haven't lost the sexuality of these movies. I will say that his design 45 years later, it was birthed out of a vagina. And thank you, Fede Alvarez for doing it.
If anything, it's gotten more because I'm telling you, I was like, holy, normally I'm like, that looks like a vagina. This time I was like, did he take a picture of a vagina, put on that? It's like, that's a vagina.
That's a cucurina, Jamie.
Oh, it's a cucurina.
So, it was, and Jamie will appreciate this, it was actually H.R. Giger who insisted when he saw the first prototype designs of the xenomorph, he insisted that it not have a face. That is part of the horror of the design that he had, that it had no eyes, no nose. The creature would be faceless, and that would make it more horrifying. So Giger is the guy who came back to Ridley and said, "Stop putting eyes on my creature."
You know why else? He's like, penises don't have eyes, buddy.
So exactly.
Like,
come on. You're ruining the whole aesthetic of everything that Giger did. They are most similar in personality and social structure to wasps, bees, and ants, which makes perfect sense if you think about it. Because honestly, even when you think about it, the whole tunnel filled with aliens crawling towards you, that's a wasp nest. I mean, you've had the horror. Well, I don't know if Jamie has. I know as a hillbilly, Eli's had the horror of stepping on a yellow jacket's nest or not accidentally breaking a wasp nest and seeing them all quickly crawling out towards you.
Or brush hogging and hitting a bush where apparently there was a big nest and you didn't realize it until you're about, 4 clicks away. Then you're like, why is my body on fire? Oh. And then you realize, because I'm getting the shit stung out of me. And then you try to drive away, but you're on a tractor. It doesn't drive that fast. And so then you're like, I guess I'm going to do this by foot. But at that point, you've been stung so much. Resistance is futile.
Yeah, but it is a fun added ingredient as you watch these movies to think of, because that is the way they behave. I mean, they're only aggressive when you're in their area, but once you've pissed them off, you're fucked in the situation. Yep. The predators know the xenomorph by the name of Kyande Ida in their language, which directly translates to hard meat, which I thought was pretty cool. Like, they hunt them actually for meat. And I don't know how you eat an alien xenomorph, but you're a predator. So you're probably...
Yeah, I guess you got some, yeah.
Well, I mean, you also got those cool mouth fingers. So, exactly. I'm sure they
draw them out good before.
Fuck those guys for hunting my xenomorphs. I don't appreciate that.
And I thought this was...
We know whose side I'm on, okay?
Exactly. You're an apologetic for the xenomorph all day long.
Yeah.
It is interesting, and I hadn't thought about this until I found this little fact, but xenomorphs prefer not to kill their prey at all. They are not there to murder their prey. They want to take them back and impregnate them to create prey. Which, to the point we were having or talking about earlier, that's what happens in this movie. The problem is you only start with 5, 6 counting the synthetic. So if you drag 2 off to go impregnate him, that only leaves you 1 kill and 1 surprise survival kind of thing.
And and Ripley does point that out in 2, because when they take Newt, she screams out like, they don't kill them, or whatever. Like, she knows she's like alive somewhere. Like, so
I'm not going to leave her because I know
she's like, they don't kill them. Like, I remember her saying that again. I just really watched it.
And then last fact on him is they are completely blind, which having no eyes, that makes sense, but are... that the senses they use is a highly evolved sense of smell, hearing, and temperature. They are Daredevil. Xenomorphs are Daredevil.
Wait. Now, if someone doesn't do a xenomorph in a Daredevil costume, shame on you.
Yeah, a crossover comic of the ultimate between the blind.
They did one with Batman, where Batman fought aliens.
He sure did.
Yeah, they did one where Batman fought aliens. Then they did another one where he fought Predator. And then, of course, they did Batman versus Alien versus Predator, where Batman teamed up with, you guessed it, the Predator.
Fuck all these people who keep teaming up with the Predator. Like, enough is enough. Because we know my stance on most things, animals, and I'm going to put this alien, I'm going to put xenomorphs in that. Like, it's the same thing with sharks. Like, stop going into their fucking area and fucking shit up and expect them to just welcome you with, like, they're just trying to live and evolve and reproduce.
And stick their vagina penis in your mouth.
That's how they reproduce. And, like, there's no need for these fucking predators to take them out like they're goddamn vermin.
Listen,
like, I can't take this.
Yeah.
Jamie, I know you love aliens, and I appreciate that about you. But I'm going to be honest with you right now. If Dave pulled me aside and is like, listen, I need to part you up for this wicked wild assignment. You have your option of this thing that could beat you to death and hang you up from a tree and de-skin you, or this thing that's going to put its weird vagina penis in your mouth for a while. Which one you want to go with? I go, I think I'll try to be skinned.
Why? I'm sure the face hugger actually hurts way less Because once it gets in there, I think these people are just like, you know what I mean? Like you're in like a trance, like you're out of it.
Until you wake up and it bursts out of your insides.
So you're gonna tell me skinning is better than chest bursting. I think those are equally.
I thinking of a KY jelly tube going in my throat.
See, that's the part that doesn't bother me here.
Dropping eggs in me that is going to then crawl up around my heart, punch its way out
so fast. Like once it happens,
I feel like in that moment, not going to feel very fast.
Okay, fine. All right, you hang upside down and wait to be skinned slowly.
Well, he normally kills them before he skins them.
Oh, he does?
See? I'm going to get laser blasted to the brain.
And they look fucking dumb, okay? I hate that.
Wow. Is it the finger mouth because they don't got a mini mouth in their mouth?
They don't look like penises, okay?
Wow.
And the struggle goes on. All I know is that if you gave me any two aliens and asked me which one my friend Jamie likes the most, all I would ask you in return is which one is least human. And that's the one that she likes the most.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless it's a spider alien. And then
God help us.
Got a problem.
What if it has a penis head?
Yeah. I love it.
Even if it was a spider?
Oh.
That's all. See, I'm giving you a Sophie's choice.
So, Eli, what are we following up Alien Romulus with next week on Campfire Tales?
I think we need to talk about some aliens, but just not alien story. I think we're going to be talking about another famous abduction.
Ooh.
That we've yet to cover. I don't want to spoil it, but just the fact that it's taken me this long to get to this one, I've been saving it for something special. And this is it. And I figured since there's a lot of penis heads, why don't we talk about some sexy aliens?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Is this one going to be conspiralicious?
A little bit.
Love a good
conspiracy. A little bit. We might be getting a little bit of conspiracy here about why are the aliens coming? And I'll give you a hint. Some of it's just a bag.
Just another dirt bag.
Yep.
So you got that to look forward to next week. We do thank you for listening. We do hope you see this movie. I think all of us can agree this is one you should see in the theaters, right? I mean, big screen.
The visuals alone, for sure.
Yeah.
Go see this movie. If you like the show, we do ask you to subscribe, rate the show, give us your feedback on if you are on Apple Podcasts, leave us a comment with a review. We certainly appreciate that. It helps the podcast quite a bit. If you want to learn more about us, you can go to our website, thewickedwild.com. We've got a little write-up about each of the hosts and then book reviews, movie reviews, and some other fun stuff over there. You can follow us on social media. We're on X at Wicked Wild We Are, Slasher, the horror only community at Wicked Wild We Are, Instagram at Wicked Wild Pod. And then we are also still publishing all of our video versions of these reviews and Campfire Tales over on YouTube. And we're getting a lot of feedback. And I did want to read one to you this week because we got comments, Jamie. And I think
what?
Yeah, you can go respond to these comments.
I feel like I used to check and there wasn't. So give me, come on. So, I'm afraid. I'm actually afraid. I shouldn't have asked for this.
I think you'll be excited. Let me pull it up here because I did respond to it in kind because I thought you would appreciate it. But we had, let's see, it was for the Devil's Backbone, the one that we just did.
Okay.
And welcome back to the Wicked Wild podcast. Sorry. And then the comment that we got on that is, give me all the Eli and Jamie hating movies content with 3 exclamation. So there's all you needed.
Motherfucking juicies!
Wait, we didn't even hate that movie though, right?
No.
Like that, we must have discussed what?
You discussed another movie that you hated, but we had talked about having a
That's right.
off podcast series of just the movies that y'all hate. So you've got at least one person who's all for that.
Wait,
so.
Was this on YouTube? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was
on the YouTube clips. Okay. I mean, yeah.
Juicy power!
So Jamie's all excited for that one. I knew you would appreciate getting some feedback specifically about somebody inviting you to hate on something.
Oh my God. Don't even ask for that. Forget it.
Oh, it's like the Wonder Twins.
Supernatural podcast. Now I think we need to put everything aside.
It's like
Let's
Wonder
figure out
Twins.
our first hate movie because it's got to be a good one.
TB Kane will be excited to hear that Who is
it?
TB Kane is the profile.
Maybe it was secretly someone I knew, but nope.
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter. When we hit a movie together, you just see it's like two sharks in the water. Just see our eyes. They get dark, and we're like, oh.
I just got pumped. Like, we could do it doesn't even have to be we could do a 15-minute rant if someone. But I think honestly, Eli and I need a 3-hour.
I like the idea of it being a live event, through Instagram.
Oh my god,
we do that real well.
People.
Oh my god.
So man,
Jamie, you know how I can tell that Rain liked the new alien hybrid, right?
How?
Because she put a ring on it.
Oh my god.
Me and Andy, we're here for you. It's a comfort. Just know your hatred of laughter is a new delightful form of love.
Oh man.
Good night, everybody.